Charlamagne the God is a disgusting and depraved individual, and I didn't even know just how bad his backstory was until Akademiks recently exposed him. But now, in my opinion, I think the Charlamagne situation has gotten much more serious than just the back and forth with Akademiks, and I think that we seen him panicking on his podcast the other day, looking like he was about to cry, and I think that's because the whole world is about to wake up to the fact that this guy is disgusting, he is depraved, and he should not have anything to do with the media platforms that he has something to do with. I cannot believe that Netflix is doing business with a guy that's been accused of the R word on a minor. I didn't even know that Charlamagne's paperwork was this messed up. It's disgusting. And I gotta say, shout out to Akademiks for bringing it to everybody's attention. But what Akademiks put out there is only the tip of the iceberg. I couldn't believe this. So look, let me just remind you what's going on right now, okay? Akademiks declared war on Charlamagne. They were kind of going back and forth. And essentially, Akademiks received word that, you know, people were kind of plotting against him. But what's crazy is it sounds like Charlamagne kind of tried to play both sides of this situation. Basically, Charlamagne sort of said he got word that people are targeting Akademiks, and his people, Akademiks, is feeling like he's doing some divide and conquer stuff, and he's not rocking with Charlamagne anymore. And he feels like Charlamagne's working with Jay-Z against Akademiks and Drake and Grand Wizard and just the whole crew over there that, you know, they're on that side, and the old heads, all right, they're over there on this side. But the jig is up. Not just for Jay-Z, but the jig is up for Charlamagne too. I'm telling you, after you find out what's in this video, the jig is more than up for Charlamagne.
Be careful who you associate with. That's odd. I'm going to tell you why that's odd. Because even if you don't know where this info came from, it is ironic that only people that align a certain way gets the info. It's not everybody that has the info. It's a certain people that have the info. Shout out my man Charlamagne. He gave me a call. He said, this was going around. I seen it. So what? Where'd it come from? I don't know. Oh, okay. Charlotte, if I wasn't supposed to air you out on that, it's okay. But listen, I got to get to the bottom of this. I hear Laura LaRosa got it in the background. What Laura LaRosa got? What? Then I hear, you got like, one of the stooges that was on this show, and then this other guy that don't like you, and I'm like, what's going on here? Now, like for anything, I like to address things head on. But with that, I don't like doing proxy wars. I like to just kick it off. I tell all y'all eat a straight up. All y'all eat a y'all ain't stopping nothing. All y'all can eat a When there is entities that's plotting against me, don't be the messenger. You either with me or against me. No DJ Khaled's around my book. No DJ Khaled's around my book. Get the away. Now, I want to get into a few things. Now,
so look, this is just one example, okay? Charlamagne's twisted. So Akademiks was upset that Charlamagne's kind of over there picking sides with Jay-Z over on that side, conspiring with the whole Rock Nation cabal of people to try and take him down. Akademiks been facing kind of crazy allegations, lawsuits. They've been stalking people that work with him. There's been a lot going on. So he's just pointing it out that Charlamagne, he's had some weird cases. Why is he around? He tweeted ages ago, R. Kelly had the best celebrity S-tape of all time, an S-tape that included a minor, so confirmation of the PDF file, inclinations of Charlamagne the God. And he said, R. Kelly looks 20-something. The fountain of youth clearly can be found within teenage... excuse me? So this is the type of thing Charlamagne's tweeting out in 2010, okay? And he does have a serious case on his record, which we're going to get into in a minute, but let's show the back and forth. So Charlamagne would later react to Akademiks' comments, okay, and he would look absolutely shook. He looked like he was about to cry. When he saw what Akademiks said to him and Akademiks was going nuclear on him, I'm telling you for a fact that in this clip, in this video, his life's flashing before his eyes and he's realizing, oh shit, the #1 person in this media space, he's pulling my card, the jig is up. I know I've got R cases. I know I've got audio of me admitting to drugging women. Yes, he does. He's got audio where he admits to drugging and R-wording women. He admits it. He's proud of it. He thinks it's funny. and he tried to sweep it under the rug. Well, the jig is up, and this is the moment where he realizes his career's over. It's done.
With that, you know, I don't like doing proxy wars. I like to just kick it off. I tell all y'all, when there is entities that's plotting against me, don't be the messenger. You either with me or against me. No DJ Khaled's around my book. No DJ Khaled's around my book. Get the away.
My bro really said, see that again. We're just going to see the.
No DJ Khaled's around my book. Get the away.
You can stop it here.
Yeah, you can stop it here. Jig is up. All right. Jig is up. He's finished. All right. They said gulp. He really said gulp. Okay. Charlotte got caught moving info around and then acting like you don't know where it's coming from. That's the shook part. Ak basically said, yeah, Charlotte was feeding me stuff, and Charlotte's whole defense was just throwing his hands up like some innocent bystander when he's the one with the platform pushing it. Schultz had to step in with the sarcasm to save him from completely falling apart. Can't talk down to people, then play dumb when you get called out. That's the real issue. Gulp. All right. Yeah, because it's one thing if Akademiks does, he'd definitely be having people shaking in their boots. All right. They're saying, stay in your little echo chamber. Rock Nation wouldn't be so pressed over his meme page if he was as insignificant as you try and make him seem. That's a fact. They're shook. All right. And they ain't been able to take down Akademiks page. They ain't been able to stop Akademiks. Megan Thee Stallion, livid that Akademiks been promoting this Tory Lanez narrative. Now, I disagree with it. I think Tory Lanez shot her. I think Tory Lanez shot her and he deserves to be in jail. But hey, they ain't thinking that over there, okay? And they've had Megan Thee Stallion on the ropes, right? They've had her on the absolute ropes. And she's pissed. Rock Nation are pissed. Now Jay-Z, the jig is up there, pissed. They're all over there. Jay-Z is never going to acknowledge Akademiks, but Akademiks is the biggest, right? Akademiks is the Drake of hip-hop media. Jay-Z is the Jay-Z of rappers, right? I don't know if that makes any sense. But basically, the jig is up, and Akademiks is going to be absolutely smoking all of these fools, okay? And look, this is just how powerful he is, all right? I don't have to agree with everything he says to acknowledge how powerful Akademiks' voice and his opinions are. They said he made SZA cry her fat ass to sleep, arguably ruined Lil Baby's career, facts. Helped ruin Meek's career, absolute facts. Destroyed P. Savage, or whatever the F his name was career, I don't know who that is, must have been gone. Tore Nav down a peg when they beefed, etc. Say what you want, but dude certainly has power and influence. He was voted most influential by Complex twice, and everything I said was facts. Like it or not, that man has more influence and power than your favorite blogger. All right, some of y'all even replied bringing up a dog-shocking R word like, what? They're pissed, all right? They're pissed. He ran from Hassan Piker after being brutally shitted on during a 2-hour debate. He joined the MAGA forces soon after that. He's good at snuffing out loser morons, but Ak is an idiot when he's speaking to anyone about whose brain doesn't revolve around hip-hop. How comes your boy Hassan got absolutely smoked on LBC, all right? He looked like he got hit with a shot collar on that one. They're saying Ak is smarter than people think, but the truth is he's actually smarter than them all. Ak doesn't trust Joe Budden or Charlamagne because they have no problem having platforms co-signing people who talk crap about him and then claiming they don't take sides. He attacks Rory, Mal, Mona, but don't think he ain't ready to crash out on Joe Budden and Charlamagne. Ak has worked with Budden, and Budden low-key doesn't punk Ak anymore. Charlamagne did this same shady stuff with Joe Budden until Budden was straight up, I'll bring up your past. All of the things Charlamagne has said or been accused of is nothing to dig up his past. Also, he definitely got outed as a snitch. Ak is just not trusting a culture vulture dude out of the country who isn't black. Wait, what? But he is more assets because he can throw dirt on Shah, and Ak can say it wasn't me. Personally, Ak doesn't like Shah, and he needed a reason. All right. They're saying this segment from their pod was the saddest attempt at manipulation and attempting to carry out a narrative I have ever seen in a minute. Ak revealed that Charlamagne is the one that told him shit behind the scenes, and now Charlamagne is struggling to explain who is giving them this information. Charlamagne would repeatedly state some rumor as an incriminating fact and throw his hands up and say, I don't know where it's coming from. You the biggest voice by a mile saying it. The way this dude kept embarrassing himself, at one point Schultz sort of tried to save him by sarcastically enlightening him that being biased for Drake wasn't a federal crime. Okay? I know it was so obvious. He doxed the guys like 4 times. Andrew was simply being logical and dismantling any Charlamagne arguments, talking like there's a big investigation going on. It's a civil suit. They're literally fighting against a Twitter account and an Instagram page. He's mad because they brought up more details in his R case. Like, he's allowed to push narratives on people. Boy, he had them excuses ready for Jay. Andrew even brought up his support for Kendrick. Okay? This is the problem. Charlamagne, he want to talk all this shit about other people like the skeletons in his closet ain't underage girls. All right. So he accused Drake of running the Akademiks TV page, which is kind of ridiculous. But
He
hey,
used to
that's
run
what he said.
Akademiks TV, but he gave it to George and Drake.
And Drake. So now we believe that Drake
I
is
don't know. I don't
putting
say,
out
I'm not,
3 albums.
I'm not saying I'm believing any of
and
this.
tweeting.
I'm just saying what's happening.
It's ridiculous, right? Even Schultz is like, so you're telling me Drake's putting out 3 albums and he's running Akademiks TV. Do you have any idea how much Akademiks TV posts? Here it is. What a brilliant ad for this, right? Right there where I needed it. Look how much they post. 18 minutes ago, 21 minutes ago, 23 minutes. You telling me Drake doing this? Drake? 26 minutes ago, Jay-Z hugging his MAGA Republican friends. The jig is up, right? So look, you telling me Drake got the time to post all of this every damn near 2-3 minutes? Finesse 2 times. Trump eating a folded pizza. What are we doing? What they posting all the time? They posting constantly. Adrian Broner. Oh my god. That's you tell me Drake running that page. This guy is dumb as hell. He's just a liar.
He's a busy guy, this guy. Yeah.
All I'm simply saying is they do come to the defense a lot.
Oh, of course.
A lot.
That's where the bread is buttered.
A lot. And after Jay-Z dropped his freestyle this Saturday, he got off me for a second and they just went straight Jay-Z, you know?
Well, we got to talk about that freestyle.
Well, we will. And I just think I'll put a button on it by saying I think that maybe...
Because liking someone is not a crime. Like, you love Kendrick, you think he's an amazing artist. Nobody would ever assume you're getting paid to defend Kendrick.
It's not.
Like,
but I just think it's...
Liking Drake is not a crime. It's not just that it's not a crime, but the lunacy that you would suggest because a page, Akademiks TV, is likes Drake and is favorable to Drake. It must be run by Drake. It must be run by Drake. That's the only explanation. Like, this page, like... It's run by Drake. I think Drake finding time. Bro, you sound like an idiot. You sound senile and old. He's sounding senile and old. He's pulling the Alzheimer's card, which I guess is the card that he keeps up his sleeve for the next time he catches an R case so that he can go full Cosby. But anyway, here are the full details about this situation, okay? I was going to kind of break everything down for you guys in kind of like a neat little package, okay? DJ Akademiks calling out Charlamagne and Joe Budden over double standards. So Akademiks reacted to the recent comments by Charlamagne the God on Brilliant Idiots, accusing him of acting unaware of conversations happening on X/Twitter, while allegedly paying close attention to everything being said about him behind the scenes. According to Akademiks, Charlamagne recently gave him a heads up regarding information and documents allegedly circulating about people associated with him, Drake, Nicki Minaj, and others. However, Akademiks believes the situation raises more questions than answers. Akademiks' main argument: Charlamagne appears to know more about what's happening than he publicly admits. People connected to Akademiks' team were allegedly being monitored, harassed, and investigated. How on earth would Charlamagne know that? All right. It says Akademiks says he's standing by his associates despite warnings to distance himself from them. I believe that might be a reference to Grand, who is, one of Akademiks' most fearsome soldiers when it comes to the info wars. It says he claims loyalty to his team is something you won't compromise on. And I'll keep it real with you. When I met Akademiks last time in Vegas at ComplexCon, he was breaking me down how he looks after his team. Akademiks more loyal to his team than anyone, and I'm trying to do more to be loyal to my team based on shit Akademiks told me he does for his team. I'll leave it at that, right? But the way Akademiks moves, he number one. I was just trying to soak up some Akademiks telling me how he handles things with his team and his generals. He loyal to the soil, man. So Akademiks also stated that while he doesn't believe he and Charlamagne are direct enemies, he finds it very suspicious that information about his circle being targeted made its way to media personalities before reaching him. How does Charlamagne know that Akademiks' crew, his team, is being harassed and stalked IRL behind the scenes? How does he know that? All right. And he acting like he oblivious to what's going on online, but then he knows about you being harassed and tailed. Sounds like you're tapped in with the people who are responsible for it. So Akademiks says, if my people are being targeted, I'm going to defend them. I'm not the type to abandon people because someone told me to. He further claimed that throughout his career, he received damaging info about both Charlamagne and Joe Budden from outside sources, but he never used it to attack them publicly because he preferred to compete through content rather than personal scandals. Listen, say what you want about Akademiks, bro, but nobody outworks him. He absolutely just has this game on lock. And he sticks by people. And he's definitely got a lot of dirt in the chamber that he could easily pull up if he wanted to, but he hasn't, and he doesn't. I've just realized my lights aren't fully on. Let me get the lights on. Yeah. Yeah. I got my little better lighting setup. It's kind of dark in here today. I turn my lights up slightly so you can see me better. Anyway, it says, so Akademiks called out Charlamagne the God and Joe Budden for what he sees as inconsistencies regarding gambling promotions. According to ACT, some media promotion personalities are quick to criticize gambling sponsorships and creators connected to betting platforms while simultaneously benefiting from similar advertising partnerships themselves. You can't criticize others for gambling promotions while participating in the same type of business. The standard should be the same for everybody. The ongoing back and forth has become one of the biggest media discussions online, with debates centered around loyalty, media, influence, industry politics, and claims of selective accountability. All right? It's okay when they do it, but it's different when I do it, type shit, right? Because y'all be doing the prize picks. Charlamagne and them are dancing on Akademiks' grave because they having some trouble with some steak sponsorship that they did a little while ago. Meanwhile, you pop in prize picks, you pop in all type of gambling sponsorships over the years on your various shows. So Akademiks would respond to the allegations that he is being sponsored, and basically he kind of would essentially like break down sort of some of the background of where the money's coming from, and I'll just play you the clip and you'll get an understanding.
Damn. Oh my God. Nah, you gotta get to that. Yo, we gotta go back. You gotta get to the top.
Many months later,
I heard it. And y'all are playing with my family, my legacy. It ain't just me.
Yo, I keep telling y'all, Grant is undefeated. Yo, Grant is undefeated, bro. Y'all ain't know they were dancing like this.
Go to cell block 1. To make sure you hide your sister's promo. Shit, goddamn. Oh my God. Nah, you gotta get to that. Yo, we gotta go back. You gotta get to the top.
What? Oh, nah.
many months later,
I heard it. And y'all are playing with my family, my legacy. It ain't just me here. And now I'm gonna say something to you niggas.
Don't be putting me in no motherfucking pedophilia ring.
Yo, let me tell you this. Yo, I want to state this. Y'all, I could print this and put this anywhere. And I hate to tell y'all this, but it go back to what I was even saying with even was it Ray Daniels clip? Yeah, let me tell you, I know y'all want to say, like, you got Charlamagne hit me up saying that, you know, Grant is being powered, or Grant and Akademiks TV or whatever is being powered through MAGA funding. I keep telling all y'all the same. And I said to Charlamagne, just like I said to Meek Mill years ago, bro, at the end of the day, Drake is my favorite rapper. He's Grant's favorite rapper. And everybody on my team, our favorite rapper already is Drake. So, listen, that's the best thing. That's the best gift Drake could ever get. Is that these niggas in media and the way how they gonna give it up, they love his music. I'm gonna be honest, maybe it would be different if we like Big Sean's music the most. But I'm gonna keep it a bean with you. Half the time when Belt to Ass is getting put on the timeline now, it's not because he's getting paid for. It's like, yo, his fans is up, nigga. Like, his fans is running shit. That's how it goes.
So the argument's being made is, Akademiks, he's paid to support Drake. He overly glazing Drake. You know, the deeper, just so you understand, like, the deeper allegations is this is like payola. Basically, Drake's just got all the money he's paying for support. He's just paying Akademiks and Grand at Akademiks TV and all this stuff. Or he running Akademiks TV, and it's payola. This is the thing that's ridiculous, is that he just likes Drake. He loves Drake. He's always liked Drake, even when Drake wasn't fucking with him. If you go rewind the clock back, Drake was on live and Akademiks in the comments, and Drake like, yo, get off my live. Like, he wasn't rocking with Akademiks. Drake used to be rocking with Charlamagne. I might send me bottles to Charlamagne. You know what I'm saying? They had a little beef, squashed it. Drake sending bottles. Like, listen, Akademiks ain't being paid to support Drake. He just loves Drake, okay? And then that's the thing, that he exposes the hypocrisy. Then you talking about you over here on Joe Budden podcast, you all dance into Not Like Us. Are you guys getting paid? How come that clip didn't get copyrighted? How come everybody else's clip reacting to get Not Like Us? How comes everybody else's one gets copyrighted but yours don't? What's going on? That doesn't make any sense. So Charlamagne's playing with fire, because not only is he a hypocrite, but like, he's got so many skeletons in his closet. He's got so many underage skeletons in his closet. It's wild that he would even throw stones at anybody else whilst living in such a house constructed of glass. But since then, Akademiks has decided to twist the knife. He's been bringing up the old Charlamagne allegations, okay, and it is pretty bad. So it says Charlamagne the God is now facing renewed legal attacks from lawyered up R-word accuser. This was back in 2023, okay? This renewed interest in this case back in 2023, we're going to get the details on how disgusting Charlamagne was back in 2001. This is absolutely, it makes my blood boil, to be honest with you. It says, after Charlamagne the God sought to have a 2001 essay lawsuit against him tossed for lack of evidence, the rapper and radio personality faces renewed legal attack from the now lawyered up R-word accuser. In 2001, 15-year-old Jessica Reed alleged that rapper and DJ Charlamagne the God, whose real name is Leonard Larry McKelvey, R-worded her during a party he threw in South Carolina. At the time, McKelvey pleaded guilty to a lesser charge of contributing to the delinquency of a minor, but denied any essay took place. He was sentenced to 3 years probation. I don't know about you, but if I'm accused of R-word a minor, ain't no plea, ain't no, we clearing my name. Ain't no plea, ain't no, well, you know, I got out, I denied any essay. Contributing to, bro, ain't no nothing of a sort. We taking that to trial, we taking that all the way, okay? Some people do make false allegations. Some people make real allegations. Justice takes its time. But if it truly isn't true and the evidence would truly show that, you would take it to trial, take it all the way. It's not true. I'm going to prove it. You playing it down. He playing it down. All right. So it says, while an R-kit was conducted that confirmed an assault had taken place, police arrested McKelvey shortly thereafter, but the case didn't go very far. Reed became uncooperative, allegedly at her mother's behest, who thought the teenager would suffer more with public attention. The prosecution felt that they could not convict McKelvey without Reed's assistance. She probably scared. All right. So it says, with the tools and technology of justice have evolved with cases involving personal violence, the state must have the witness to prosecute. Wrote the Ninth Circuit solicitor Scarlett A. Wilson in 2018. Too often the key witnesses will not come forward in support of criminal prosecution. Reed has since attempted to reopen the case with limited success. So she not happy with the case. Okay. She not happy with the case. She's tried to reopen it a couple of times. Right? First in 2018, again in 2022, with renewed lawyer backing, Jessica Reed is moving to reopen her complaint in 2023. Said among the roadblocks Reed has faced, McKelvey and his attorney filed documents in 2022 refuting that the DNA from the alleged 2001 incident matched his DNA, thus proving he maintained innocence. Here's the problem. I'm pretty sure. I'm not going to go too crazy, but that don't mean that he didn't. And if multiple people and some people left DNA and some people didn't, you got a problem, okay? So it says Reed persisted in broadly disseminating her... This is his filing. This is Charlamagne's filing. Reed has persisted in broadly disseminating her unsubstantiated claims, ignoring that the South Carolina solicitor in 2018 declined her request to reopen the case due to lack of evidence, while confirming that no basis existed to bring essay charges against Charlamagne, the filing reads. Well, that's weird, because back when it happened... it was alleged that an essay took place. You pled guilty. You pled guilty to a lesser charge, but you pled guilty to a lesser charge. So why didn't you fight it? If it really wasn't, if there really no evidence, absolutely no way this ever happened, why didn't you take it all the way? That's what I don't understand, right? That's what I don't understand. And I don't understand. This is the one thing against the victim I would just say is that if he pled guilty, I guess she felt like he pled his way out of what really happened. And, you know, she felt like she didn't really get the justice that she deserved, but he pled guilty to a charge. So it said, this is the same essay claim that was fully investigated and dismissed by authorities in South Carolina more than 21 years ago. Why do you plead guilty to a lesser charge then? Wrote McKelvey's attorney, Michael Weinstein. At the end, my client voluntarily submitted his DNA and it was confirmed the DNA was not found in her R-kit. That doesn't necessarily mean that you didn't could have used protection. That's all I'm saying. Okay. Sound like the kit did prove that she was R-word. So no DNA found in the R-kit. It's an interesting way of putting it. Now, look, I'm going to look into the full paperwork on this, okay? But it's very interesting, okay? Why are you pleading guilty to a lesser charge then? It says it's also the same matter that Miss Reed tried to reopen in 2018 that the Solicitor General declined to reopen, suggesting, among other things, it wasn't ethical to do so. Reed also filed a federal lawsuit against McKelvey in New York in 2022, accusing him of willfully, unlawfully, and feloniously engaging in PV relations with them as a 15-year-old female child when he was 22 in the 2001 incident. Okay? So here's the thing. You going after Akademiks, but this shit ain't going away. You got egg on your face, bro. What? You got a weird case, bro. What's going on with this weird case? What's going on with this weird case? And why are we keeping that? We sweeping that? We sweeping that under the rug, are we? I'm not. Huh? Where's the what? What's going on? Where's the case? So it is actually here, okay? It says, in 2001, McKelvey was accused of SA after a party. He denied having relations with the accuser and cooperated with the authorities, providing DNA evidence which failed to support the claim he had S with the victim. This reads like it was written by him, right? The SA charges were dropped, and he later pled guilty to a misdemeanor count of contributing to the delinquency of a minor, for which he received 3 years probation. So the way that this worked is kind of all backwards, right? He denied having relations with her, providing DNA evidence, which failed. Well, the DNA evidence, I believe, this is like over nearly 20 years later, this DNA evidence thing gets brought up, and they're basically just saying, well, there was no DNA in the kit. That's all they're saying, right? But they're rewriting history to make it seem like that's how it went down. When really, he was accused of SA after a party. He denied the relations. Were the charges dropped? Says that he basically let's just get deeply into it, okay? Let's just get deeply into it, because these sources and the way that the sources are translating into Wikipedia just don't really seem to add up. Inside the disturbing are allegations against Charlamagne the God, hip-hop's biggest voice. It isn't the only alleged incident he's had to answer for in 2018, okay? So the Wikipedia page is given a very, very simple and sort of back-to-front explanation of the crime, but this article from the Daily Beast, right, kind of gives a little bit more information, okay? It says that the victim claimed that the radio host R-worded her when she was 15. She also claimed that that Charlamagne continued to violate her by denying the SA allegation and offering up his own version of events to many followers and fans. A Berkeley County incident report from June 2001 detailed the SA, and according to the report, police responded to the short-stay Naval Rec Center in Charleston, South Carolina. There, Reed's friends told deputies they'd been given a drink that tasted like soda, and she woke up to a man trying to kiss her. Then they found Reed in the room across from where she was, naked and crying, stating she'd been R-worded. The two girls were subsequently transported to the Somerville Medical Center, a 45-minute drive away. Charlamagne was arrested June 22nd and served with a warrant for criminal sexual misconduct with a minor in the second degree. The warrant stated the defendant was a 22-year-old adult male who did willfully, unlawfully, and feloniously engage in PV intercourse with a young'un. Reed had implicated McKelvey while at the medical center. Examinations corroborated the assault, right? And you talking about DNA. Oh, no DNA, though. No DNA, though. Well, how did it go down? So the sheriff's office was contacted by the victim's mother. She became uncooperative with prosecutors during the case, and as a result, they felt a conviction of him on the arrested charge would be impossible. I wonder why she became uncooperative. So he pleaded guilty at the time to contributing to the delinquency of a minor, a less severe charge, and received 3 years probation. So I'm not seeing they dropped the charges. I haven't seen anything to suggest the charges were dropped. So 2 decades later, Reed's mother, Jocelyn, took responsibility for her daughter's lack of cooperation, telling the blast she was just trying to protect her daughter from the suffering. With the support of her mother, the 32-year-old Jessica Reed is now exploring her legal options and speaking out. Usually McKelvey's famous interview subjects are the one in the hot seat, but a 2013 video, the host addressed the SA allegations against him in an interview favorably titled Charlamagne Explains Being Falsely Accused of R-Word. And in the video, DJ Akademiks asks him how he beat the charge, to which he responds, I didn't do it. He says that he was 20 when he threw the party. According to the arrest warrant, he was 22, so he's a liar. He specifically recalls a girl in attendance. She got drunk, high, or whatever. Something happened in the room with a couple of my dudes. I didn't R-word her, just the homies, just, you know what I'm saying? I didn't R-word the minor, just a couple of my dudes, couple of my guys, couple of my homeboys. You are disgusting, sir. You are absolutely disgusting and depraved, right? He insists that he left at that point. Next morning, I'm hearing she says she got R-worded.
This is the latenightcreep.com.
Latenightcreep.com for sure. That's you.
Stay creeping.
What's the
Stay creepy. You be creep. He is a creep.
wildest shit you ever did? Like
Charlamagne the creep for sure.
after, like, since you gained fame with, like, either groupies or I don't
do that shit. I'm scared of that kind of shit. I done had a rape charge before.
Oh, for real?
Hell yeah, I'm scared of that kind of shit. I don't even play them.
You got like a charge? How you beat that?
Because I didn't do it. It was a criminal sexual conduct with a minor charge.
That means you would have to like register for this.
Yeah,
right?
It was the year 2000, 2001. I think I was like 20. I was 20 years old. My cousin had just graduated from high school, and he had got a scholarship to Penn State University. It was a party. Yeah, I had all of these chicks at a party. Like I was doing overnights I was working at D93 then, so I had all these chicks there that I met through radio, and chicks that my dude had known. I used to always see this chick with my dude. So I bought. It was the year. I invited her to the party. So she was at the party and shit. She got drunk, high, whatever. Something happened in the room with a couple of my dudes. I'm asking them, did they mess with the chick? After the fact, after she pressed charges, and they was like, no. But they was like, yo, she's bugging. I remember the night of, they was like, yo, she's in here bugging out. She's kicking over the TV and she's trying to set shit on fire. I'm like, what the fuck? Because I had left. So the next morning, I'm hearing she said she got raped. She got raped. So I go to the hood to ask what happened. They like, yeah, my cousin who I got the scholarship, yeah, he's in jail now. What you mean he's in jail? He's in jail. They said he raped the girl. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I go down to the jailhouse. Talk to the detective myself. No, they had no one for me. I just told the detective, like, look, I take full responsibility for anything that happened in the house last night.
You gonna take the case?
No, I told her, I said, because I asked around, anybody fuck? I'm like, yo, nobody got raped, yada, yada, yada. They didn't even have my cousin in custody. My other cousins was fucking with me because they was mad they didn't get invited to the party. Hating ass motherfuckers.
None of the story's adding up, is it? Ain't adding up at all.
So my cousin wasn't even in custody, so I went down to the jailhouse for nothing. So I'm like, I take full responsibility for everything. I bought the alcohol. They was like, well, you're not even of age of alcohol. And I'm like, well, how'd you get it? Well, I got a crackhead to get it for me. Whatever.
They went down there copping out pleas.
Yeah, they had to do shit.
Yeah.
So
he was 22 at the time, right? So he's a liar.
2 weeks later, they come and arrest me for criminal sexual conduct with a minor. So I had to get blood and hair follicles.
Oh, you going down there to initially explain it?
Why are you giving blood and hair follicles if you're only being arrested for buying alcohol for a minor? It's cap.
Somebody else, depending on. So being that I went down there and took full responsibility, lock him up.
Did it get through? You got indicted on it and everything, or?
Now I went to court. Went to court and they reduced the charges to like contributing to the delinquency of a minor because I had to get blood and all DNA samples and it wasn't me. Whoever touched it, it wasn't me. So
you didn't get no jail time over that?
Nah, I got like probation, like 4 or 5 months probation or something like that. Man. Something like that's.
It ain't adding up, is it? It ain't adding up. All right. So here's the thing. He told a similar story in his 2017 book. He wrote about a charge as a turning point in his life. He said he rented a cabin at a place called Short Stay, invited a whole gang of people to come over and party. The night started off great, drinking, smoking, dancing, bullshitting. One of the girls passed out, and then she woke up later that night, claimed some dudes at the party had essayed her. I wasn't there. I'd left to get some weed. Finally, heard what happened. I cleared it out. She got into a dark room with guys to have S. She started to protest. One of them said, relax, it's Charlamagne. So they're saying he's saying the homies are saying they're him. That sounds like nonsense, right? Police came and arrested me a few weeks later in connection to the assault. They took blood and hair samples, released me the same day. Eventually, the SA charges were dropped. However, the blast reported that Reed was seeking legal representation, attempting to reopen her case. So she was trying to reopen the case, okay? It said basically they're honoring his original plea deal and can't reopen the case, right? The technology has evolved, but the state is required by law to honor the agreement they made with Charlamagne. It can't be resurrected. That's fine. Okay, fine.
This is the late night.
But here's the thing, right? She's saying outright, I was drugged and R-worded by him, by Charlamagne, that he invited me to. I was only 15, right? The state, they didn't even try and hold him responsible. They allowed him to plead guilty to a lesser charge and agreed to dismiss the remaining charge, which was the R-word. She said, I was uncooperative and traumatized about what happened to me. For many years, I've suffered because he violated me, and he continues to violate me on the radio, in his book, and on social media. He jokes and laughs about drugging women and R-wording them when they're incoherent. Okay. He does be saying that. He does be saying that. Okay. So there's various clips of him basically. Another video surfaced in 2015 where he basically was saying that he describes putting the aphrodisiac Spanish fly in a woman's drink and having S with her while she was drunk and not coherent. That's what he's out here doing. I'm on the wrong page. Charlamagne the God in 2015 admitted he had S with the woman when she wasn't coherent. I feel like this isn't going to work. Hang on.
Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I got this girl real drunk. And
that sentence sounds a little fishy. I got her drunk.
I didn't just get her drunk. I remember I went to the sex store and got Spanish fly.
Oh, so you raped her?
Shut up. Spanish fly. They sell it in the sex store. I'm telling the truth. They sell it in the Spanish store. I had to fucking.
They sell knives at the store too. You could put that to a girl's throat and have sex with her. That doesn't mean it's illegal.
So I put the Spanish fly in the E&J. We drinking the E&J and shit. So in my mind, I don't know if this shit really worked, but I felt like I got horny as a motherfucker too. Right? So she was drunk and shit, and we had sex and shit, and like a lot of my boys was trying to come in the room and fuck her. I'm like, nah, chill out. I can't. I'm not doing that. I'm not gonna let you run a train on it. That's rape. Yeah. Okay, so
yeah, if you let your boys come in and do it, right, that's the R word. What, like your boys was doing the thing at the party in 2001? What are we talking about?
If it's just one-on-one, it ain't rape.
Yeah. So the next
trains are rape.
So the next morning she wakes up. And we talk about it. And she's like, what happened? I'm like, we had sex. She said, okay, well, I'm glad it was you. Then a couple days later, she's like, yo, are you sure I only had sex with you? Because one of my stupid ass cousins was going around saying he fucked her, which he didn't. I know for a fact he didn't. I was there the whole time. Yeah. He did not fuck her. Yeah. He looked at her naked, but he didn't fuck her, right? So I'm telling her, no, me and you just had sex. Nobody else did nothing. So it just was weird that she was like, well, I'm just glad it was you. You know what I'm saying? Because in my mind, I'm like, yo, you could have been in a real bad situation if it was another motherfucker there.
She was in a real bad situation.
Man, a girl just said, yo, at least you raped me.
I didn't rape her. I did not rape her.
Hey, if it was any of your cousins or friends, it would have been rape. But
I didn't rape her because me and her had every intention of having sex with each other.
So then why would you put the Spanish fly?
I'm still a freaky motherfucker, but listen,
was she passed out while you fucked her?
Nah, she wasn't like, she was like one of those drunks where she was one of those drunks where like she was one of those drunks where she was like she wasn't coherent, but she was up. You know when your girls is like when you're blacked out like that, don't know what the fuck's going on type shit. Like she was
so she was blacked out. She didn't know what was going on. Excuse me. So there's more clips that have now resurfaced. Okay, another clip from Brilliant Idiots resurfaced where Charlamagne made more disturbing comments about things he might have done in the past.
And let me say this because I don't have a vendetta against Charlamagne. We've never done business. He's never been disrespectful or anything towards me. He's always provided a very neutral perspective to the things that have always been going on with me or stories that he's reported. So me personally, I don't know him. However, you're not lying about this.
Area Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Mm-hmm. I got this girl real drunk and
that sentence sounds a little fishy. I got her drunk.
And I didn't just get her drunk. I remember I went to the sex store and got Spanish fly.
Oh, so you raped her?
Shut up. Spanish fly. They sell it in the sex store. I'm telling the truth. They sell it in the Spanish store. I had the fucking.
They sell knives in the store of girls.
I was a real. Listen,
was she passed out while you fucked her?
Me and Malika were alone for a while until the EMS got there. Like we were by ourselves. It was just dark, and then I just remember sitting on the curb, just.
It's just so sad, you know, when you actually see the impact of these horrible crimes on the people that, you know, have been the victims of them. It just breaks your heart. My bad. I thought that last clip was going to be this, but it was the same case as before. But this is the other case that I wanted to mention where he basically admitted to R-wording his wife in an interview. He said it, all right? So in the undated interview, which surfaced on Twitter, it basically said, he said, the first time he did it with his wife, so I keep telling you, I've told you this over and over, a lot of the things guys did, especially when we were young, that were R-word, that we didn't consider R-word. I'm married to my wife. Me and my wife dated a whole year. She wouldn't give me no pee. Me and my wife hung out one Saturday night. She got sloppy drunk, passed out, and I got it. I got the pee. She was effing me back and all that, but she was really drunk. I asked her yesterday, yo, are you the first time we had S? And she goes, I mean, in hindsight, yeah. He's saying he communicated that wrong. He just communicated that wrong.
I've told y'all this over and over.
I've been trying to find this clip for ages. They've tried so hard to scrub this from the internet, but I've found it, finally.
It's a lot of things that guys did, especially when we were young, that were rape, that we just didn't consider rape. And I'm married to my wife. Me and my wife dated for a whole year. She would not give me no pussy. Me and my wife hung out one Saturday night and she got sloppy drunk and passed out at my mama's house and I got that pussy.
No! Damn, why she was passed out?
Yes, I mean, she was fucking me back and all that, but she was really drunk. So I asked her yesterday, I was like, yo, did I rape you the first time we ever had sex? And she looked and she goes, I mean, in hindsight, yeah.
No.
That's what you're dealing with. So Charlamagne the creep, right? He's disgusting. He's gross, right? Men that behave this way are absolutely just depraved, right? He deserves a beat down, and he got a beat down outside Hot 97 that one time. So at the end of the day, all right, this guy has skirted justice for too long. And that clip of him on the Brilliant Idiots looking absolutely panicked when he realized he's going to war with Akademiks. Going to war with Akademiks is a dumb enough decision to make, let alone when you got all these skeletons, these underage skeletons in your closet. It's insane. This guy is an R-word. He is an R-wordist, all right? I don't even want to say it, but you know what I'm saying. He's admitted that. He has admitted that he is an R-word. So fuck him, basically. Can't wait for him to be out of the hip hop conversation. Don't care about his background. Don't care what he's done for the culture. He R-word. Get the fuck out of here, bro. You a bitch. All right. So I'm quite happy to participate in the downfall of Charlamagne. You know, it's not about Akademiks. Akademiks just so happens to be on the front lines of this situation. I've always thought Charlamagne was a creep. I've always thought that he was a waste man. He's definitely a legendary figure in the hip hop history as far as the interviews that he's done. But he a bitch. The way that he treats people is horrible. The way that he treats women is disgusting. He should be in jail. He deserves to be locked up. And that's my thoughts. So the disgusting downfall of Charlamagne the God is far from over. In fact, it's getting worse. And it's not just Akademiks piling on, but there's more and more evidence that's coming out. And Akademiks TV or Akademiks or Drake, if you want, Charlamagne was saying he thinks the Akademiks TV account is Drake himself. If that's what you want to believe, hey, that's fair enough. I got a bridge to sell you, okay? But whoever is in charge of all of these systems, these content creators, they're not happy with Charlamagne, and they're airing out his business in a way I didn't even know was humanly possible. And unfortunately, the truth behind it all, it doesn't matter whether or not you believe that Charlamagne is in the wrong, in the right, if Akademiks is in some kind of bitter back and forth, if somebody else, you know, a third party, other people over involved in the situation, Drake, some people saying it's Drake, doesn't matter. Because the fact is, Charlamagne's history is disgusting. He's been accused of some disgusting things. He pled guilty to some weird things. He got a weird case. Why is he around? Why has he been around for like 20, 30 years? I don't know. But it is getting worse and more evidence is coming out. So before I get into it, I just want to give you guys a very important trigger warning, okay? This video is going to discuss some, you know, unsettling and some upsetting themes, including abuse, abuse involving minors, criminal sexual conduct. I'm just giving you a fair warning so that you're informed, and I'm only telling you this stuff for journalistic and in reporting purposes. I'm letting you guys know, and I'm informing the public. I'm warning the public that this guy is a creep, because it is super weird. I didn't know this guy got down this way. I can't believe that Charlamagne got so far in his career with these disgusting allegations on his name, and then to think that he's somebody that takes such a hard stance against other people, and the fact that he has these allegations. And he was part of the whole victory lap when it came to everybody putting fake allegations on Drake. They not like us. A minor, certified lover boy, certified PDF file. You over there on the Jay-Z side of this beef. And then before we know it, we find it out you got the craziest A minor skeletons in your closet, allegedly, all right? So look, in my opinion, he's weird, but I don't know. I'm just going to share with you guys some third-party information that I've seen on the internet, and you guys tell me whether or not you think that this is credible, whether you think that this is nonsense. Is this a coordinated attack against Charlamagne, or is this really him just sowing the oats that him reaping what he sowed decades ago? All I'm going to tell you is this, all right? This is what's going around. There's an alleged arrest warrant that's connected to his old case. This is being posted by Akademiks TV or Drake, if you really want to believe that this is Drake, all right? It is an official update channel for the Academy, founded and owned by Akademiks, but Akademiks, as far as I'm aware, isn't posting on here all the time. I don't know for sure. It's not really my business. All I know is that this page is cooking Charlamagne non-stop. So this says, this is the authentic arrest warrant / incident report of Netflix podcaster Charlamagne from the Berkeley County Sheriff's Office in South Carolina, dated around June or July 2001. The defendant, who is a 22-year-old adult male, did willfully, unlawfully, and feloniously engaged in P&V intercourse with a female child 3 years below 18. I'm going to say it that way so I don't get in trouble on YouTube, okay? But that's what it says. Did commit the offense of criminal sexual conduct with a minor second degree. It's twisted. It's messed up. Truly disturbing, all right? It's dark, okay? And there's another, what's this?
Exclusive and Charlamagne the God's rape allegations resurface, and we have an exclusive interview with his alleged victim. her life and for alleged conduct, and he ended up pleading guilty to a lesser charge at the time. Well, the victim, Jessica Reed, tells us how this all allegedly happened, revealing she met Charlamagne, who was in his 20s at the time, in 2001 through a mutual friend and a DJ. A few days later, Charlamagne called her and expressed his interest in her, but she told him she wasn't interested, and they agreed to just be friends. According to Jessica, Charlamagne invited her to his cousin's birthday party, apparently playing it off as his own to convince Jessica to pass by. Charlamagne reportedly picked her up and a friend and drove them to a party filled with guys and only 2 other women. Jessica alleges that at the party, Charlamagne spiked her drink with something and she ended up passing out in the bathroom. While she was unable to move after she fell down, Jessica says she could see and hear Charlamagne and his friends laughing at her. She claims that Charlamagne's friends took her upstairs where they allegedly violated her. Then, she alleged, Charlamagne later came in the room, took his clothes off, got in bed with her, took her clothes off, and proceeded to have sex with her. Jessica and her friend got help from a stranger, and she eventually went to the hospital. Jessica tells us she felt betrayed by Charlamagne and was encouraged to speak out after seeing him trying to discredit the situation when he was speaking to DJ Akademiks.
So I think it's disgusting enough to do stuff like this, but then when you're actually using your platform and your public appearances to try and like downplay and, you know, take away from the victim's story, I think that is just so dark. But what's really weird is it's like Charlamagne over the years, he's kind of like tried to distance himself from this, but then also he's low-key accidentally kind of put his foot in it and acknowledged it. Now, this is very weird. In 2017, about a year before Charlamagne's alleged victim actually tried to reopen the case, because he was actually seemingly allowed to plead down to much less serious charges than what he was actually charged with at the time. I personally believe the girl, but the charges are the charges. What he pled down to is what he pled down to. But this was an absolutely mind-boggling attempt at moving the goalposts and deflecting the reality of the situation, in my opinion. When Charlamagne basically gave himself Donkey of the Day, he's notorious for giving these Donkey of the Days to people, dishing them out to people. I think we could give you Donkey of the Year, Donkey of the Century even for that case, because that is actually disgraceful. And just considering the dirt they put on Drake's name, but then this guy is actually out. Like, I didn't know about this case until a few weeks ago, to be honest. I actually didn't know that. I was absolutely mind-boggled to find out this guy had such a disgusting past, and he's been able to get to such a height of industry. And this is someone I kind of looked up to. I watched Breakfast Club for many years, but like, had I known what sort of creepy shit he was up to in the past, I honestly don't think I would have ever supported him. So he gave himself Donkey of the Day, and he didn't really acknowledge what he did. He sidestepped, and he said, oh, he contributed to our word culture, and so he's the Donkey of the Day. Weirdly, it's almost like he was trying to get ahead of the story. That's kind of how it looks, in my opinion, but let's hear what he said.
Morally honest with ourselves. If you are a certain age like I am, you was born in the late 70s or 80s or hell older than that, you were absolutely positively raised on rape culture. I feel bad and extremely dumb that I didn't realize this earlier in my life. I don't care.
I hate when people do this, bro, and it's always these creepy, disgusting old heads, your Bill Cosbys, your Harvey Weinsteins, when they talking about, oh, 70s, 80s, I was raised on this culture. Nah, bro, nah, you a bunch of creeps. Just because back then there were more creeps and y'all creeps were looking out for creeps and you creeps were protecting creeps, that don't make it okay. He taking Donkey of the Day, but then he transmuting it and saying, really, it's the culture of the 70s. This was normal. We was all doing it. Not really, because you was charged with it. You was charged with it back in the day. So back then, the cops didn't say this just 70s culture, boys will be boys. No, you was charged with it and you plead your way out of it. You was lucky there wasn't more evidence against you. You ain't no 70, bro, that was against the law. You acting like that shit was like, oh, you know, we was all drink driving back in the day before it was illegal. Bro, this was illegal, bro. You nearly went away for life, man. You could have gone away for life for the real charge, the R charge that they was trying to hit you with to begin with, of a minor. Is crazy. And the gall of this guy to think that he can sidestep this and pop out and be like, it's the culture's fault. It's the 70s. I was raised on this culture. Bro, you should have been raised better.
It was Freaknik, Miami Memorial Weekend, Myrtle Beach Black Biker Weekend. It was never normal to feel like you can grab a woman's ass just because it's fat and she's got on biker shorts with Daisy Dukes. It was never normal to grab a woman's breast just because, you know, you saw in Dr. Dre's Nothing But a G Thing video when the girl was playing volleyball basketball and they ran up behind her and pulled her bikini top off. If you ever mimicked that kind of behavior, it wasn't normal, okay? If you are in a fraternity and you ever had women come over and you got them high and got them drunk, you know, that whole ain't no fun if the homies can't have none mentality. You and the rest of your frat ran a train on the girl. My brothers, that wasn't normal. It was rape culture, okay? Movies like Revenge of the Nerds and...
See, you pointing out all the movies and the media culture, but what about your situation that you would rather we don't talk about from all the way back then? This is what I don't get about this, is it's like he's doing all of this to deflect from the fact and basically absolve, well, it was the culture. Dr. Dre's nothing but a G-thang made me think it was cool to assault a woman in public on the beach and just pull her top down. I thought that was cool. Dr. Dre told me Dr. Dre was beating bitches up too. Fuck Dr. Dre. Fuck Dr. Dre. He's a bitch.
Kids. Remember those where guys would have sex with passed out women or dress up as other
guys like who? Guys like who?
People in order to trick the woman to have sex with them. That was rape culture. Remember Porky's? Remember sneaking up late to watch Porky's where they was drilling holes in the wall and peeping at the girls? I got homeboys in college who would be hitting chicks from the back, and then another homeboy would come in and start hitting the chick from the back without asking her consent. When we would get drunk and high with women and they would get inebriated and then we would sleep with them. I'm sorry, my brothers.
No. We'll hear it again. I'll correct you.
I got homeboys in college who would be hitting chicks from the back, and then another homeboy would come in and start hitting the chick from the back without asking her consent. When we would get drunk and high with women, and they would get
we would get drunk and high with women. No. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. Women. 15 is not a woman, sir. 15 is a girl. That's a little girl. Okay, 15-year-old female child. It's a child, not a woman. Not a woman. Child. You're not getting drunk with them. You are getting them drunk. They're not supposed to be getting drunk. It's illegal. It's illegal to get them drunk until they're 21. So no. We was getting drunk. No, there's no we. There's no we. All right. And he pled guilty to, I believe it was contributing to the delinquency of a minor. Am I not right? Let me check. Let me just check for sure, because I don't want to get in trouble. I just want to make it very, very sure. Let's just check for sure. Okay. Pled guilty to misdemeanor count of contributing to the delinquency of a minor. Okay. So ain't no we got drunk. You was contributing to the delinquency of a minor, sir. So what we doing here? Talking about, it was Dr. Dre made me do it. It's nonsense, bro. This guy is an embarrassment.
To watch Porky's where they was drilling holes in the wall and peeping come in and start hitting the chick from the back without asking her consent, and then we would sleep with them. I'm sorry, my brothers. All would get drunk and high with women and they would get inebriated and then we would sleep with them.
We would sleep. We would. You admit that?
I'm sorry, my brothers. All of that was rape culture. Hell,
he's saying, I'm sorry, my brothers. Bro, you are talking about yourself. You are talking about things that you did. A lot of people didn't. Bro, most people aren't doing this shit, bro. Most people aren't into this. Most people aren't condoning this. Most people ain't trying to clean this up because they ain't never doing this. Ain't never happened. It's disgusting. And for you to even try and normalize it and give yourself donkey on the day, like, I'm putting an arrow in my own back over this shit. Bro, you was never supposed to be doing it. You should have never had a career doing this shit. What the hell are we talking about?
Get some of the things I used to say to women in interviews here on the Breakfast Club. And I'm like, bruh, you was wilding. So when
you was wilding, saying stuff in interviews, sir, you need to read your own Wikipedia page, sir. You need to do your own, talking about, I said the wrong, I was wilding saying things in interviews. That was actually such a disgusting attempt at a cleanup operation. I don't think I've ever seen anything so shameless. It's actually beggars belief. So coincidentally, right, the next year, that's when the allegations of his case resurfaced and his victim came forward and attempted to reopen the case, okay? And obviously, I kind of already showed you these clips from this, but this is basically the point. When it started being reported a year later, it all came out. So he was doing prep work. That wasn't a genuine admission of remorse and rejection of this R-word culture that he seems to blame it on rather than his own actions and his own culture and his own opinions and decisions to do things, allegedly. It's a deflection. Let me give myself donkey of the day, and then when this all comes out next year, I already owned up to it, sort of sideways in a way where I blame Dr. Dre's music video for making me do it. Oh, it was Dr. Dre's music video that made me do it. All right? It is actually crazy. Okay, so I just want to reiterate, okay, this was 5 years ago, Hollywood Receipts on Reddit, and we're going to follow Hollywood Receipts. This is a Reddit post that laid out the 2001 allegations against Charlamagne in great detail, okay? And there were a lot of alleged inconsistencies in his story, especially when it comes to his little damage control attempts that he did, okay? And we're not having it. So I'm going to read you most of this, and I'm going to move on to some other things, some other articles that are going to tell you other things that are in this post, but in much more detail. So So Charlamagne the God, aka Leonard Larry McKelvey, is a radio host and co-host of The Breakfast Club. It's been in syndication since 2013. He's the founder of the Black Effect podcast network and a published author. Because part of Charlamagne's job is to say shocking things and he's had a platform for quite a long time, I had a lot of interviews to choose from. I have a miscellaneous section with interviews that I saw talked about that fit the theme of this subreddit, but there are many more interviews that could have been included. If you think there's something else that people should see, please share it. Jessica Reed. I'm going to be careful what I say. Charlamagne was accused of the R word on a minor on June the 8th, 2001. He was originally charged with criminal sexual conduct on a minor and contributing to the delinquency of a youngin. I'm going to say different because I'll be getting in trouble, right? And I don't want this to get taken down or blocked so that people can't know these facts. He pled guilty to contributing to the delinquency of a minor. The other charge was not prosecuted because the victim was uncooperative. Court documents related to these charges were shared by Hollywood Life. Before his accuser spoke out publicly, Charlamagne discussed the allegations. The main source of his version of events is Black Privilege, The Opportunity Comes to Those Who Create It, a book released in 2017. The story begins around page 123. In this book, he says that he was throwing a party for his cousin, Kinta Palmer, to celebrate him getting a football scholarship to Penn State. He says that he had rented a cabin at a short-stay villa near Lake Moultrie. Charlamagne claims that he left the party to go get weed when the assault took place. He writes that he was told that the girl had passed out, and he claimed that when she woke up, that some of the men at the party essayed her. He alleges that someone told the girl to relax because he was Charlamagne. It's weird because I swear I just heard this dude telling a story about how dudes was, messing with girls and they was tapping other people in without their consent and they didn't know that they was involved. But hey, just a coincidence. The next day, he gets a phone call telling him a friend had died in a drunk driving accident. He went to tell his cousins and they told him that Kinta was in jail for R-wording a girl at that party. He drove to the police station and told a police officer he had thrown the party. He also said he bought the alcohol. After taking his statement, the cop told him that Kinta had not been arrested. He discovered that his cousins had made the story up because they were mad they hadn't been invited to the party. He was arrested a few weeks later and he writes that the criminal S charges were dropped, but was hit with a charge of contributing to the delinquency of a minor because I bought the alcohol to the party. Before writing this book, Charlamagne talked about these accusations in an interview with DJ Akademiks all the way back in 2013. The story he tells is similar to what he described in the book. However, there's some statements that cannot be correct. First, he says he was 20 years old when he was arrested. He also claims the cops questioned how he was able to buy alcohol for the party when he was underage, when he was actually 22 years old. He also says that he was sentenced to 4 or 5 months probation. According to court documents, he was sentenced to 3 years probation. While I will be referencing other sources, the two main sources I'm using to write Jessica's story are a 2016 Hollywood Life article and a documentary that was uploaded to YouTube in 2018. The documentary is more graphic than the article. If you need to skip her account of the assault, she arrives at the party at 10:40, finishes her story and begins addressing Charlamagne at 32:10. She recently announced that she'll be releasing a book. According to Jessica, she met Charlamagne through a mutual friend. She was 15, Charlamagne was 22, but he told her she was 20. In the video, Jessica says that she met Charlamagne through her friend Rico. He needed to stop at the radio station where Charlamagne worked. She doesn't know how Charlamagne got her phone number, but he called her 2 days later. She thinks she met him about a month and a half before the party. Jessica says in the article that Charlamagne told her that he had a crush on her, but he agreed that they could just be friends when she wasn't interested. The documentary shows Jessica and her mother at the apartment building they lived in, while they describe the times that Charlamagne had visited their home. The first time he came to their apartment, he met her mother. Charlamagne took Jessica and one of her friends to a Chinese buffet. Bro, this is a Reddit repost. I can't verify and vouch for the exact authenticity of everything that's being said in this narrative, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at some other links afterwards and I'm going to try and verify some of these facts. But if that's really, I don't know if that's exactly, if that's how it went down, that's insane. That's insane. Charlamagne told her he had a crush on her. 15-year-old Jessica, he had a crush on her, but he agreed they could just be friends when she was not interested. Jessica and her mother, the documentary shows Jess and her mother at the apartment building they lived in. They describe time Charlamagne visited the home. This is weirdo, bro. Weirdo behavior. The first time he came to their apartment, he met the mother. Charlamagne took Jessica and one of her friends to a Chinese buffet. Her mother said he seemed brotherly and assured her that her daughter would be safe with him. In the documentary, she clarifies that she did not ask him his age and thought he might still be in high school. He came to her home a second time. He spoke with her brother, but Jessica was not home. I ain't gonna lie, that brother should have beat the brakes off of Charlamagne at that point, bro. What the hell? What on earth? But hey, back then it was a different culture, right? It was a different culture back then. It was a different culture, so brothers ain't beating people's ass for pursuing their 15-year-old sister, I guess. So the third time Charlamagne came her home was to pick her up to go to the party. Jessica said she didn't want to go to the party, but agreed when Charlamagne told her it was to celebrate her birthday. I assume that meant to say his birthday. She asked Malika Joyner, who was engaged to Jessica's brother, if she would go to the party after her best friend said she couldn't come. They drove to the party with several men in a sports car and a truck. Charlamagne is the only one of the men she knew. They first went to Charlamagne's father's house. They watched television with his father and people Jessica assumed were his relatives. According to Jessica and Malika's original statements to police, they watched sports, stopped at a gas station, and Jessica called her mother. Her brother told Kwame Brown in an interview that Charlamagne took his sister to the party. Malika's victim statement also describes how they arrived at the party. They arrived at Short Stay Villa. Jessica was surprised to see that there were only 2 other young women at the party. She says that Charlamagne kept asking if she wanted something to drink and reassuring her that she would be safe. She felt pressured into drinking and Malika accepted a drink first. Charlamagne got their drinks in the kitchen. Malika began to vomit after Jessica began drinking her drink. Even though Malika was throwing up, Charlamagne continued to ask her if she wanted more to drink. Jessica felt dizzy and went to a bathroom to help Malika clean up before collapsing. She felt like she couldn't use her limbs but was still conscious and could see and hear what was going on around her. I'm not trying to... all I'm trying to say is it sounds like he was trying to get in there. She was not interested. Kept trying. I don't know what he tried. It says Charlamagne told 2 of his friends to carry her to the upstairs bathroom while laughing at her. In the documentary, she calls these men Larry and Boo. Boo began to essay her as he carried her. Malika told the Star Report that Charlamagne began kissing her and trying to remove her top while Jessica was upstairs. She believes that he left her because she was less affected by the drink and could better defend herself. After being violated by the 2 men that carried her upstairs, a different man carried her into a bedroom and essayed her. Sometime after that, the man left the room. Charlamagne came into the bedroom, removed her clothes, and did the R word. As Malika was walking up the stairs, she could hear Jessica screaming. Jessica said Charlamagne talked to her to try and get her to be quiet. He continued to tell her she was safe with him as she cried. Charlamagne yelled at her to shut up and threatened to kick her. The article says this was a different man, but the documentary, Jessica and Malika's original statements to the police agree it was Charlamagne. The story becomes less clear at this point. In the documentary, Jessica discusses how it was difficult for her to recall these memories. In the article, it sounds as though Charlamagne leaves the room and other people enter the room before Malika goes upstairs. In Malika's interview, she says that 2 men were in the room in addition to Charlamagne and Jessica, and according to Malika, she saw Charlamagne on top of Jessica with his pants down. It's disgusting, man. As Malika helped Jessica get dressed, everyone quickly fled the party. They went outside near the road. A man driving a black car saw them and stopped to see if they needed help. Using his phone, Malika was able to call Jessica's mother. Jessica's mother called 911 and remained on the line with them until an ambulance technician told her what hospital they were being sent to. Jessica was met at the hospital by her mother, brother, and the hospital's chaplain, who was a friend of the family. Charlamagne never contacted Jessica again. How come you turning up at her house 3 times back to back, meeting the parents, and then after that you never ever talk to her again? What on earth? What on earth? But hey, guess that was that 70s culture, right? Was that 70s culture? Because I couldn't imagine anyone doing this ever. But hey, must be that culture, man. Must be that them Dr. Dre videos really did a number on Charlamagne, man. Said Jessica and her family have talked about how this has affected them. Jessica spent years in therapy and has been prescribed medication. Their family moved. Jessica's mother thought it would be better if her daughter didn't testify. She's spoken about regretting this decision. Jessica did not know that Charlamagne would not be prosecuted if she didn't participate. Malika said in an interview that these events were a factor in her breakup with Jessica's brother. He tearing apart the family. Jessica, her mother, and her brother have all said Charlamagne being a public figure causes them continuing distress. Charlamagne has addressed Jessica's allegations since she began speaking publicly. In 2018, he gave a statement to Billboard. He said, "Over 17 years ago, I pled guilty to contributing to delinquency of a minor and served 3 years probation after I irresponsibly hosted a party where alcohol was served to minors. I will forever regret my role in creating an environment that was less than safe." I cooperated with authorities, participated in multiple interviews, and submitted to DNA testing. Ultimately, the assault charge was dismissed because I had no physical contact with the alleged victim whatsoever. Okay, we'll take it at face value. A few days later, he spoke on The Breakfast Club on July 27. He said the case was dismissed. He also said he regrets helping create an environment that allowed something like this to take place. He's slick. He said that he's praying for the victim. In the statement, how come she never hit her up afterwards? You was around the house with the family, chilling with the parents, chilling with the sister, getting to know everybody. If this went down at your party and you really felt remorse, just as a man, me as a man, I don't get down like this whatsoever, but me as a man, if a woman that's under my care, a minor no less, was subjected and made an allegation of a serious assault with my friends, I would be beating those friends' ass. I would be beating the brakes off of them. I would be getting justice. I'd be round that house. I'd be round with flowers. I'd be round with fucking chicken soup, whatever. All right? Are you doing okay? What happened? I'm so sorry this happened. I am so sorry. You never spoke to the family again. Allegedly, according to this, he just stopped speaking to them. You ain't no friend. What are we doing? This is crazy. Look, if that's true, that's disgusting. He says he's praying for the victim. Why? You didn't go and say, are you okay? You didn't check in, no? He references a document about DNA evidence that was released. This document confirms Charlamagne provided samples to the police, but no usable sources with DNA were found on Jessica. In his 2018 book, Shook One, Anxiety Playing Tricks on Me, he wrote, while I was writing this book, a young lady did an interview and claimed I had essayed her at a party in 2001. I didn't do it. Some people said she was resurfacing it because I was a celebrity. At the end of the day, the why doesn't matter. She was impacted by what happened at the party. That's the bottom line. And I hadn't spent much time thinking about her pain. Here's the funny thing. He talks like a guilty man, but he also talks like a lawyer that he knows exactly what to say to get up to the point of remorse without actually taking responsibility. Right? I didn't do it. Some people said she was, at the end of the day, the why doesn't matter. She was impacted by what happened at the party. Bro, I haven't spent much time thinking about her pain. Why not? That was supposed to be homegirl, right? You wasn't pursuing her. You was pulling up as a friend to this minor, getting to know the family, and you just forgot about her pain. Come on, man. When I told the story of the party in Black Privilege, it had been from my perspective. I had wanted to illustrate how scared I'd been by the allegations and how I didn't want to find myself in that situation again. I wanted to highlight the moment when I realized it was finally time to leave my street friends behind once and for all. In retrospect, I've been thinking too much about how that night affected my life. See, here's the thing, right? When you really, this is just my opinion. When you really innocent, and you've been falsely accused, you don't do this kind of cleanup operation, this soppy like, well, I hadn't been thinking. If you really, truly was falsely accused, true, most people, and at least from what I've seen in my observations, just as somebody that's followed different kinds of cases, if you really, truly falsely accused, and I've seen it in police interrogation tapes, you say, hell no, no way, no concession, bro, this did not happen. I'm clearing my name. I will fight to clear my name. I'm not pleading guilty to no lesser charges, all right? If he was contributing to delinquency of a minor, but he was 20, they're saying he was 20, I don't even forget about that. That's nonsense, right? But like, if you really, truly didn't have nothing, you would be fighting tooth and nail. I'm not that. I do not want to be tarred with the wrong brush. This is not acceptable. I don't care. She's a liar. But it's like, it's kind of like, I hadn't given much thought at all to how it had hurt her, obviously her reappearance in my life. Either, it's like you can't, he fall in somewhere in the spectrum that just doesn't make sense. Either it's like, yo, this is disgusting. I want to put my friend in jail. I've not seen anything about anyone else getting fully blown charged with the R charge. And why didn't he say, because look, forget about the street code. You a gangster. You from the streets. You don't snitch. That don't work with the R charge, bro. I'm not from the streets, so I can snitch anyway. But it's like, yeah, you don't snitch on your buddies. You go and do a bank robbery. You don't snitch on your baddie that came with you to bank robbery. If your homeboy's going around doing the R charge on innocent women, let alone A minors, F that, bro. You go in jail. If I don't smoke you myself, I'm going to snitch on you and send you to jail because that ain't cool. I need to protect the little girls. This is crazy. So the way he's talking about this is so slick, it don't make no sense to me, in my opinion. Says, what I saw wasn't pretty. I'd been extremely selfish in how I told that story. You leaking guilt in the way that you're talking. You know you can't admit to it, but you leaking guilt. My only concern was how it impacted me, not how it impacted a teenage girl. What's it? Not how it. What is it? What is it? You inviting her to the party, you go and picking her up from her home. What's the it? Because you doing so much apology when you saying some shit never happened. You saying it didn't happen. You saying someone else did it. I didn't do it. Some people say, what happened at the party? She was impacted by what happened at the party? Who? Not how it impacted a teenage girl. In the documentary, Jessica criticized Charlamagne for not using her name when talking about her in his statements. Jessica has a GoFundMe collecting money for a private investigator to locate the two men who carried her upstairs and obtain legal counsel. Charlamagne should have snitched on them, bro, because this ain't no street. We was in the street, we was in the car with the guns, and we ain't snitching on each other. No, your friends are... Sounds like... If we're just going to believe Charlamagne, right, if we're just going to throw our hands up, we're going to drink... we're going to take the red pill, whatever, however you want to say it. Okay, I'm not going to say the wrong thing here, but you take the red pill, we're going to believe Charlamagne. Why is he not fighting tooth and nail for those disgusting R words to be in jail? Those two men are disgusting. Are you saying it? Are you saying she's a liar, or are you just saying you're not the one who assaulted her? Are you gonna do anything? I implore Charlamagne to name and shame those two people if that's really what happened. If he really didn't do this, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Name the people who did it. Name the people who did it so that Jessica doesn't have to do a GoFundMe to get a private investigator, since you know, right? And you got kids, Charlamagne, right? So you would want to name it. You would want to protect the community, right? Because apparently two of your homeboys, like your mans that you be your homeboys, right? That you be hanging with, right? Your boys that you be throwing the parties with, and like your home, right? The guys you be hanging with, right? That your homies, right? You know who they are, right? So let us know, right? Right? Because you ain't have nothing to do with this, right? So you're gonna let us know and protect the community and protect other young girls, right? Right? Oh, what? No, what? Oh. Don't tell me he's got 4 daughters. So this man has daughters. He has little girls, right? So I would say that I think it would only be right, all right? I think it would only be right for his young daughters, all right? 2024, they're having sweet 16, so they ain't even much older than this girl was when this happened. Let us know who did this. Save Jessica, the victim, who you said you were extremely selfish in how you told that story, you know, the way you'd explained it was all about you. Why don't you retell the story and tell us who did the R word, since you didn't do it? Why don't you tell us that? And if you don't, I'm just going to be looking at you funny. I'm not inferring it. I'm just going to be looking at you mad funny, like, so you're protecting that. Yeah. So you ain't the R word. You just protect the R words. Okay. So there's more to this, and I'm going to get to the other things that are in this kind of document a little bit later, but you know, this is a pretty grisly breakdown, okay? And people aren't feeling it. People saying Charlamagne is disgusting. He's been assaulting women for a long time. Since his victims are black, no one cares, including some black women. We get so inundated with negative messages about our worth, it's hard not to internalize it. That's so tragic that he's even contributing to this just by even belittling victims of this crime and hiding the names of the people that were allegedly involved. It says it's disappointing that no serious journalists or activists have taken up Jessica's story. There's a good amount of evidence from when the assault happened, and there are still named witnesses that people haven't talked to. She has done what she's supposed to do, but she keeps being ignored. It's crazy. Wow. How does this guy have a career and Louis C.K. lost his? He's been R-wording and beating women his whole life and bragging about it. These are just Reddit comments, okay? People saying they're so disappointed. I thought he was a good guy. So much evidence, so little accountability. It's crazy, okay? So let's take a look at some of the things Charlamagne, he himself, said contributed to the R-word culture. An old clip has actually resurfaced where Charlamagne talked about how he cannot be turned down. Excuse me?
Oh my God. I'm a bona fide creep. Oh my God.
How do you turn somebody like Charlamagne down when he's like harassing you?
Somebody like Charlamagne, look at the intensity in his face.
There's no turning me down.
He looks like he's very determined.
That's what date rape drugs are for. There's no such thing as turning me down. You be passed out.
Determination in his face.
I hear DJ Envy laughing. That's your mans. You be hanging with DJ Envy. I hear you laughing, DJ Envy. That's your mans, right? Your mans who be doing. He talking about the date R drug, right? That's your mans. Your mans, right? Who you be hanging with? Who you be podding with, right? I see you on Netflix. Shout out to Netflix. I'm gonna play it again.
I'm a bona fide creep. Oh my God.
How do you turn somebody like Charlamagne down?
He's a bona fide creep.
Down when he's like harassing you.
Somebody like Charlamagne, look at the intensity in his face.
There's no turning me down.
He looks like he's very determined.
There's no turning him down. He very determined. Look at his face. Ain't no turning him down. That's your man you be hanging with, right? Jay-Z, is this your man?
That's what date rape drugs are for. There's no such thing.
That's what date R drugs are for. Is it? Is he a comedian? Is this comedy now? Are we going to say this comedy? Because Envy's laughing. He laughing like a little girl.
Very determined.
That's what date rape drugs are for. There's no such thing as turning me down. You be passed out.
I know that's you, Envy. I know that's your laugh, Envy.
Determination in his face looks like it may turn into rape.
Date rape, drug, and determination.
All right, enough of rape talk. Enough of rape.
That's your man you be hanging with, right? That's your man you be hanging with, that you be making content with, right? All the time, every day. All day on the radio, on Netflix. That's your man's, right? Okay. I actually can't believe how disgusting this clip is, so I'm going to play it to you one more time.
I'm a bona fide creep. Oh my God.
How do you turn somebody like Charlamagne down when he's like harassing you?
Somebody like Charlamagne. Look at the intensity in his face.
There's no turning me
He looks
down.
like he's very determined.
That's what date rape drugs are for. There's no such thing as turning me down. You be passed
the
out.
determination in his face looks like it may turn into rape.
Date rape drug and determination.
All right, enough of rape talk. Enough of rape talk. You a creep for real.
You a creep for real? Is that you, Envy, at the end? Is that you, Envy, at the end? Was this in 2019? Was this 2019? And you guys was cool for that long? You disavow the property scammers, but you rocking out with Homeboy. Okay. Okay. I don't know about you guys, but this is just my opinion. But I feel like if you got a clip like this going around, I feel like we could skip the trial. You just go jail. Like, we just go jail. It's cool. You admit it. Like, you telling us what you are, we can. It's cool. We just skip the trial. We just jail. Just bang. Close the doors. You know what I'm saying? Close them doors, bro. I'm gonna need to put a sound effect on my soundboard for prison doors clanging, because right now I still only got one sound effect and it's not even working. But anyway, okay, that actually makes me so angry. That actually makes me so angry and upset. But it's not just that, okay? Akademiks TV has also been reposting some classic clips where R. Kelly basically gets huge shout-outs and props from Charlamagne. Charlamagne looks up to R. Kelly by the sounds of things. Netflix podcaster Charlamagne admitted to watching illegal videos and called the sexual acts that R. Kelly performed on the A minor incredible. In this clip, he vividly explains in detail what he liked about that. I can't even say it. I can't believe this is real. This is your man. Can someone get me Netflix's like PR email address, and we can just hit up Netflix and be like, yo, just want to make you guys aware. How has this guy got a Netflix show, but your boy Traplaw Ross hasn't got a Netflix show? I think you should we could just boot him out, and then I could just do Surviving Charlamagne for you guys. We can clean it up.
For one thing and one thing only. Well, two things. Number one, he taught me how to eat ass.
Shout out to Kelly.
I learned how to eat ass because of the R. Kelly tape.
That's true.
And the come thing is still one of the most
legendary, incredible
things I've ever seen in my life. Because I still don't understand how a man could come and then pee right after coming and then come again. That happened.
Wait, that happened?
He busted a nut on this little.
Okay. You get the gist, right? It's so disgusting. I can't believe that Netflix would associate with this guy.
I've seen no shit like that in my life, man.
Jesus.
I keep telling y'all, I've told y'all this over and over. It's a lot of things that guys did, especially when we were young, that were rape, that we just didn't consider rape. And I'm married to my wife. Me and my wife dated for a whole year. She would not give me no pussy.
Yeah.
Me and my wife hung out one Saturday night, and she got sloppy drunk and passed out at my mama's house, and I got that pussy.
No.
Damn, why she passed out?
Yes, I mean, she was fucking me back and all that, but she was really drunk. So I asked her yesterday, I was like, yo, did I rape you the first time we ever had sex? And she looked and she goes, I mean, in hindsight, yeah.
No.
Charlamagne came into the room, and I saw Charlamagne's face with my own eyes. When he opened that door, I saw his face. I saw his face. I heard his voice while he was raping me.
It's so sad, man. And it's really shocking. But you know what's even more shocking, right? So he's talking about how much he loved the R. Kelly illegal video, right? This beggars belief. This is nearly as bad. Do you guys remember? All right, I'm just going to show you this real quickly. Do you remember when King Von was in the documentary for KI, well, I'm going to say it, the little girl that King Von killed, all right? That King Von was confirmed to have allegedly killed, all right? KI. He was in the documentary about her, okay? And I talked about it in my documentary about it. Let me just pull it up quick. So if you remember this, right, I basically talked in the documentary. I actually had to trim it out for copyright reasons, but you're going to get the gist. King Von appeared in the documentary about the little girl he killed.
On May the 23rd, 2019, a documentary about KI would air on A&E titled Secret Life of a Gang Girl. This piece goes in depth into the life of KI, exploring her motivations to become a gang member despite being a petite young woman, as well as interviewing some of the people that knew her during this time. And that documentary about KI would interview none other than King Von, who was featured prominently in the documentary, and if you ask me, he was just straight up trolling the TV crew, who clearly hadn't done their homework.
So he was straight up trolling the TV crew. He popped up in a documentary talking about, yeah, that's my bitch, I miss my bitch. He killed her, all right? It took years for us to find out, even though he rapped about it, and he was smoking KI a couple times. Here's the thing. How on earth are you telling me, is that, like, that's really not that different from Netflix? It wasn't Netflix, I believe, actually. It wasn't Netflix. Netflix? No, okay, yeah. It wasn't Netflix who made it. I don't know if the documentary ended up on Netflix. Charlamagne, the guy who said he loved the illegal video and he learnt from it and he picked up tips from it. They interviewed him for the Surviving R. Kelly documentary. This like King Von and K.I. all over again, but just the creep version. How on earth did they put you in? And then when you hear what he says, it's the most despicable, disgusting thing. Even King Von wasn't this on the nose. Even King Von didn't have this much cool. King Von would have seen this and said, my boy's talking hot right now.
The woman in America historically has always been the black woman. You know, I always say if you want to get away with murder, kill a black rapper. If you want to get away with sexual assault a young black girl. If R. Kelly had been doing this...
How would he know that? I'm not saying I just want to... How would you know that?
Kill a black rapper. If you want to get away with sexual assault a young black girl. If R. Kelly had been doing this to white women, oh my God. The fact that it's mostly young black girls that he preys on, simply nobody cares.
So they've really got the expert witnesses up on this show, man. It's actually crazy. Like, they really got credible talking heads in this show by the looks of it. But that's like, bro, how you put the creep in the documentary about the creeps, bro? How even King Von would have said, bro, that's too on the nose, you talking hot. Like, Von would, that's like if King Von was on there just like, yeah, man, like if you want to get away with this shit, man, you got to smoke him and just, you know what I'm saying? You got to kill him and then be in the documentary and just rap about him, man. That's the way. That's the way. That's the way to do it. It just beggars belief. So in the last video that I did, we discussed Charlamagne, his kind of disturbing story that he told on the Brilliant Idiots. It kind of surfaced later online. But it's actually being kind of addressed now. Basically, a spokesperson came out to address this because if you saw the last video I did about Charlamagne, you heard some of the disgusting things that he said on his podcast. But this is kind of a breakdown from Vice where it kind of attempted to clean things up all the way back in 2018. It said, earlier this month, Charlamagne the God came under fire for a 17-year-old essay case. Jessica Reed, the alleged victim, spawned a petition that was formed to take the Breakfast Club host off air following the new information. A 2015 clip from Charlamagne's podcast Brilliant Idiots resurfaced when he said he had S with an incoherent woman. She wasn't coherent, but she was up, said Charlamagne. You know when you're blacked out, she was really effed up. Today he issued a message via Brilliant Idiots to clear up his initial statement. All right. It said, in the 6-minute clip, Charlamagne is adamant that he misspoke when he recounted that night. I didn't handle that conversation the right way, he said, apologizing to our survivors who were triggered after the graphic details. He's always doing these weird apologies. Like, you're not an R word, right? So why are you apologizing to R words? I'm apologizing to R word survivors who were triggered after the graphic details after I decided to retell what happened that night in a joke when I didn't actually do that. Like, what? You doing too much, bro. You doing too much. According to Charlamagne, he and the woman both went to a sex store to buy Spanish Fly, a libido enhancer, which they mixed with E and J. Then we both passed out because we were both wasted. That's what I was attempting to convey. Sounds different. You telling the story different this time. You cleaning it up different. Why is the story different? The radio host denies any claims of wrongdoing, claiming this was consensual that stemmed from a night in 1997. The new statement isn't related to Jessica Reed's account of essay against the radio host in 2001. No, it's just really similar. It's just really similar. It's almost like some sort of, like thing that you see multiple. It's almost like I'm seeing it in one instance, in one case, and then I'm seeing you talking about it on your podcast, but it's a little bit different and the year's different. It's almost like when two things are quite similar and they're near each other. I think it's called a pattern. Like when two things near each other are really similar and it's like a pattern. Like, you see how this Louis Vuitton bag that they're trying to get me to buy for thousands of dollars on eBay for some reason, I'm definitely not shilling out for this. But like, you see how it says Louis Vuitton over and over again? That's like a pattern, right? It's like a pattern. Like how sometimes behavior can come in patterns. I don't know. That's just like pattern recognition to me, but I'm not trying to say anything. I'm saying it's just weird. It just keeps coming up. And another clip resurfaced of Charlamagne talking about slipping something into a girl's drink.
You can buy me a drink for $26.
Whoa.
Can we slip something in your drink, then take advantage of it?
You can buy.
It just comes too easy. Charlamagne has no filter. I think maybe, is that just how he is? Sometimes people joke about stuff too much.
You can buy me
you're like, nah, that's just you. That's not a joke. That's just you. That's how you roll. That's how your brain thinks.
You can buy me a drink for $26.
Whoa.
Can we slip something in your drink, then take advantage of it?
He said that way too quick. He said that way too quick. Way too quick. That wasn't a joke. You didn't think about it, a little punch. You said that red because that's your natural response. That seems like that's how you move. Now, there's a bunch of other creepy stuff. It's not criminal. It's weird. In 2014, he also went viral. He sniffed Jennifer Lopez's seat after she'd been on the show. This was weird as hell. Remember this?
Well, thank you for coming in. I'm sorry if Envy creeped you out, asking you these awkward questions.
Envy don't creep nobody out. He just laughs along with the creeps, Envy, right? That's your man's, right? Envy, right?
This guy.
Miss, I'm gonna smell her chair again when she walks out.
Who was creepier, Charlamagne or Envy?
Oh, come on.
Be honest. That guy.
Yeah.
Even Jennifer Lopez, Jenny from the block, she like, this guy a fucking creep. This guy's a creep.
That guy.
Creep.
Right there. It's the Breakfast Club. It's J-Lo.
Thank you, guys.
J-Lo just left. Never fails.
Come on, y'all.
Never fails. Oh, so you do that all the time. Oh, you be doing that all the time. Never fail. Oh, you do that all the time, like multiple times, like a pattern, I think was the word that I was reaching for earlier. I'm gonna play it to you again and just watch how creeped out. She's disgusted she's even next to this absolute creep show.
Well, thank you for coming in. I'm sorry if Envy creeped you out, asking you these awkward questions.
I creeped her out, This guy. Miss, I'm gonna smell her chair again when she walks out.
Who was creepier, Charlamagne or Envy?
Oh, come on.
Be honest. That guy.
Yeah, that guy right there. It's the Breakfast Club. It's J-Lo.
What a disgusting creep. So anyway, right, I can't believe that. I've never met J-Lo, but if I met J-Lo, I would just be like, let me just be nice and normal and make this woman just feel comfortable and safe around me as a man. But no, he a creep. He a creep. She rolling her eyes. She wish she never went to the Breakfast Club, bro. She lucky she not at a house party with this fool. She lucky she ain't got a drink on the table. It's crazy, okay? So Charlamagne would also be criticized for this old interview where he asked Logic about his sister after he'd opened up about a traumatic family situation. You know, people want to say he has no chip. He has no chill, but really, like, this what he is. This how he is.
And plus, it is your story.
It is my story. You know what I'm saying? But he got over it. He's like, whatever. I talk about it on the album.
Who the hell raped your sisters?
Oh, man, I don't want to get into that.
See, he's just an asshole, right? He's just an asshole. He just got too much. Bro. Yep. People couldn't believe it, all right? He thought he was Oprah asking that question. It's disgusting, bro. How dare you even ask somebody that? Like, how dare you? With your record, with what we've heard about you, how dare you even think that you were in a position to ask anyone about that, bro? Who are your two homies that carried that girl upstairs? Who are your homies? Who are those homies of yours that were carried upstairs? I'm just gonna play this just for the decorum, just so you know.
Hey, you know they got your mans. They got your mans on sex assault charges. Yeah, the nigga you be hanging with. The nigga you be hanging with.
DJ NV, do you be hanging with, right?
Oh, yeah, sex offender. And it was your mans. He was your boy.
It was your mans. Envy, what's Envy? You gonna address the thing with your man?
I heard you grew up with him. That's crazy, man.
I heard you was throwing parties with him.
You ain't know what he was doing? You ain't feel bad at all? Like no guilt, none of.
You ain't feel bad that you never spoke to the girl again? You was going around her house time and time again trying to speak to her family, trying to weasel your way in. It's almost like some sort of word starting with G and like rhyming with room. I can't remember the word. But damn, bro, that's your mans. Like Envy. Yo, Envy. Jay-Z. Sean. That's your mans, right? That's your mans? So in 2020, Charlamagne would actually address both the J-Lo and Logic incidents. And you tell me whether you think this was satisfactory.
I seen a couple of things that people were talking about. Do we have audio of any of them?
You know, I sniffed your chair last time you was
You're
here.
a sick person.
I know. I did. I couldn't help it. You're J-Lo. So that's when I sniffed J-Lo's chair.
I was J-Lo. I just couldn't help myself, right? So you be around women, right? You just can't help yourself, right? What? Because it's J-Lo. What about if it's like, you know what I'm saying? What? Nah, don't worry. Don't worry about it. Just, yeah. You can't, you know what I'm saying? You see something, you just can't help yourself. All right.
That's right. J-Lo came up for an interview, and when she left, Charlamagne sniffed her chair.
Back then was a total different time. Okay,
yeah, back then. Back when was you having them parties? When was you having them parties? You want to talk about Diddy parties? How about Charlamagne party? Because they sound worse than Diddy parties.
Total different human. All right, but if the world didn't get that version of me, then they wouldn't have this version of me now. Okay.
Do we have more audio of more?
If the world didn't get that version of you, bro, the world will be a safer place.
It's more?
Yeah.
Who the hell raped your sisters? Oh my God.
Oh man, I don't want to get into that. It's a little too personal.
Now see, I'm so sick of that one now. I'm so sick of
I'm so sick. We're sick of you, bro. We're sick and tired of you.
The Logic conversation.
Wow.
Because y'all know I did not randomly ask Logic who raped his sister. He brought it up like 2 or 3 times prior to that, to the point where I asked him that. I thought we already discussed all this. Didn't we discuss all this before?
I thought we did.
So why that's what was trending?
That
yesterday?
clip is foul. They shouldn't even play that. Like it's like you don't get the full story. It's just bow.
I can't believe that our producer should have the whole context in there. Context.
All right.
Context.
All right.
Context.
The context didn't change anything, and I'd like to know the context of that party that you threw. Can I hear the context of that party you threw? Because you're talking about something happened at the party. You feel bad that something happened. What happened at the party? Who did what at the party? What are their names? You asking Logic who R-worded his sister? Who were the guys at your party that were dragging a girl upstairs? You don't want to answer that question. Okay. So Funkmaster Flex would actually call out Charlamagne publicly, and he would also bring DJ Envy into the conversation, whilst Envy was facing these allegations of real estate scamming. So Envy be just with all just the most shady characters, right? Like Envy, I really don't envy because he be with all the shady characters. He got explaining to do. It's your man's, right?
There's a scammer looking at a pedophile all morning long. And a pedophile looking at a scammer all day long. You two ain't for the music business. You're not for the music. All of that fake mental health, all of that fake, I'm trying to help people get real estate. You're a crook, you're a thief, and you're a scammer. And you should be ashamed of yourself in public right now saying you had nothing to do with it. Because let me tell you something I learned about you today that's going to come out soon. And I don't care what I use these airways for. You took a lot of drug dealer money, and you took a lot of label execs money that have not come out to say nothing yet. That's why you're hiding. You're not out in the street. And your goofball lawyers putting out a lot of statements saying you had nothing to do with it. But everybody said they talked to you and you pass them to the man. You're a scammer, Envy. You are a professional scammer. You're a piece of garbage. You think people don't see you? I see you. You think you're holier than thou is the main problem. And your man's a pedophile. He likes underage kids. He puts drugs in drinks for women. You guys gotta be kidding me. But let me tell you why they're not gonna fire you. You know why they're not gonna fire you? Let me tell you. Because you know it, and I know why they're not gonna fire you. Because if they fire you, that company takes on every lawsuit and they're going to lose because they're going to say, you fired him so you knew he was a dirtbag. So they're going to leave you there. So they don't got to pay them lawsuits. But you should be ashamed of yourself. Who you think that is on the news and everything else? You think that's somebody else? That's you. But you know what's funny? Anybody else, you and Lesser Charge Leonard would have went ham.
Lesser Charge Leonard is brazy. I'm taking that, stealing that. Lesser Charge Leonard is brazy.
But you know what two subjects you guys never talk about on that show? There's never no pedophile talk or underage talk. Now there's no real estate talk, and y'all don't do no more scammer talk. I see through you.
Damn, cooked him, okay? But there's more. Wait, there's more. All right, Charlamagne's been criticized for some of the comments he made on Bill Cosby back in the day as well, okay? New York leaves Charlamagne the God unchecked on Cosby humor. When 35 women appeared on the cover of New York Magazine last summer, it symbolized a breakthrough in documenting the litany of our allegations against Bill Cosby over 4 decades. The issue featured a photo essay and compilation of testimonies on trauma and survival, giving voices to women who had been shunned and shamed for years. They told of the culture that wouldn't listen, and the magazine was hailed for its powerful examination of that injustice. A commitment to that subject would be expected going forward, but this week, New York printed a glowing 4,300-word profile of Charlamagne the God, calling him the God of hip-hop radio. I think he's the god of some other stuff, but Charlamagne, born lesser charged Leonard McKelvey, hosts a talk show on MTV2, and the cable channel Revolt televises his syndicated New York-based morning radio show, The Breakfast Club. Now it's on Netflix. He went to the top. They said this guy. Let's check out his Wikipedia. We stamped that. Yeah, we rock with him. He's an irreverent provocateur, hip-hop's puckish Howard Stern, the magazine said, echoing a comparison made by Rolling Stone in 2014 before Charlamagne had 1.4 million followers on Twitter. New York contributing editor Mark Jacobson wrote of Charlamagne's shock jock talent as an interviewer and the high-profile controversies that indiscretion ignites, but missing from the piece was virtually any description of the inappropriate things Charlamagne had said on his way to becoming so popular. The Cosby date rape revelation was among the biggest stories, I shouldn't have said that word, biggest stories of last year, and too often Charlamagne has more or less made a joke out of it. It's one thing to be sad at the sight of fallen heroes or to allow eccentric guests to voice their views, but interview hosts are expected to shut down tastelessness past the point. The culture that wouldn't listen describes a collective failure. Even Ta-Nehisi Coates of The Atlantic owned up to a reckless misjudgment of the Cosby allegations. But Charlamagne's running commentary on The Breakfast Club, where he interviews mostly musicians, actors, and comedians, went many steps beyond what was perhaps an understandable impulse for Cosby fans to react to such a dark truth. Sorry, to resist such dark truth. I'm going to read that sentence again because I butchered that. Charlamagne's running commentary on The Breakfast Club, where he interviews mostly musicians, actors, and comedians, went many steps beyond what was perhaps an understandable impulse for Cosby fans to resist such a dark truth. Okay, that was word salad, that one, sorry. Charlamagne calls himself a journalist, a cultural critic, thus he accepts a higher standard for tact and truth-telling beyond that of an entertainer, and an in-depth profile should confront him on the most troubling instances when he appeared to fall short of that. In his own interview, Charlamagne the God would never allow a guest to pass as infallible. Last July, Charlamagne told Mark Lamont Hill of the Huffington Post that he decided to stop defending Cosby after the 2005 deposition was released, in which Cosby admitted to drugging women. I mean, Charlamagne be admitting to drugging women, right? So he said, "We don't want to believe that about our hero," Charlamagne said of his prior hesitation. He not only, he knows, he said that's how he was getting down back in the 70s, right? He was apologizing for the R culture of the 70s. This is OG. Bill Cosby's his OG, right? In my opinion, that's his OG. Less than 2 months later on The Breakfast Club, comedian Damon Wayans riffed about the R accusers and said some of them really is as un-Rable. I look at them and go, no, he don't want that. Charlamagne had to stand up from his chair because he was laughing so hard. But mind you, 50 years later, they might have been hot in their younger days. Mind you, 50 years later, they might have been hot in their younger days. Now, you can tell, dude, Wayans replied as Charlamagne gripped his stomach, cracking up. He thought that was so funny. Why did you find that so funny? Said Charlamagne. He said, Damon Wayans really has my stomach hurting this morning. I love intellectual ignorance. The tweet's deleted. Deleted the tweet. He posted that 2015. He thought that was cool. He thought that, but it's gone now. You Clint, sweep that under the rug. Leave that in the 70s with your Dr. Dre mixtapes. Before and after Charlamagne and his co-host accepted Cosby's guilt, that sort of crude humor was routine on The Breakfast Club. It's one thing to be sad at the sight of fallen heroes or to allow eccentric guests to voice their views, but interview hosts are expected to shut down tastelessness past the point. On the rival program Sway in the Morning on Sirius XM, The comedian Lavelle Crawford once begun a joke about Kanye West and Kim Kardashian naming their daughter North. Immediately, Sway shook his head and said, no, don't do that. Don't go at the kid. And they moved on. The same off-limits instinct should apply to survivors of serial date-R, one would think. All right? Don't tell me Bill Cosby couldn't get no consensual buns because he was too old. You see these girls effing go to Dubai? Don't tell me that Charlamagne the God couldn't get no consensual 15-year-old buns, right? Right? Because he was only 22, sorry, 20. Oh, because he was throwing a party. What is wrong with this guy? Is he deleted that one too? Oh, he's deleted that. We'll sweep that under the rug as well. Charlamagne invoked criticism of how the R allegations finally got national attention when the stand-up comic Hannibal Buress called Cosby out for long-existing reports of the R word during a set in late 2014. Chris Rock came on The Breakfast Club soon after. Hannibal Buress, low-key, was one of the people that actually flicked the first domino on Bill Cosby just getting absolutely destroyed. So you want to talk about, oh, it was a different time. Well, Hannibal Buress seemed to know that everything that was going on was wrong back in 2014. But you were still cracking these kind of jokes. You were still defending him in 2015, so the timelines ain't really adding up, is it? No, I think you was just thinking this was cool. Chris Rock came on The Breakfast Club soon after. Charlamagne asked, with Hannibal as a comedian, do you feel like he crossed that line with the legends like Bill Cosby? He just got on stage and says Cosby R-worded somebody. Where's the punchline? As warped as this argument goes, even if the allegations were true, Buress broke code by calling out his peer. Rock, of course, defended the younger comment. See what I mean? Charlamagne, he a comedian, he an entertainer, he just cracking jokes. You need context. But when you having a go at the date R word, Bill Cosby, he's so offended. I can't. You couldn't possibly. He broke the code. Where's the punchline? Where was the punchline when you asked Logic if his sister got R worded? Where was the punchline when you made J-Lo very uncomfortable and sniffed her chair? That was the punchline? It wasn't very funny. You wasn't on stage at the Comedy Store, Comedy Cellar. You was on the radio on a serious interview. So I'm just confused. When you was on that little back and forth with DJ Envy talking about you slip things and you just slip things in someone's drink. Was that the punchline? But Hannibal Buress can't do a punchline about Bill Cosby being a disgusting R word. Oh, okay. So Charlamagne's the comedian, please, all right? It's funny when he does it, but it's a problem when someone else does it. Maybe Charlamagne has an evolved view of how he handled the Cosby story, or a justification of how he can be a journalist and a cultural critic while also being so flippant on serious subjects. That would have been interesting to broach in the New York profile, but the piece marveled at Charlamagne's ability to provoke without explaining what he says to be provocative. New York, of all places, would be expected not to brush past crassness related to the Cosby R's. The piece makes it very clear that Charlamagne is a provocateur. So Hannibal Buress can't call him out, but you can be a provocateur. Provocateur of what? What are you provoking? Are you provoking R words or are you provoking laughs? Because I'm not really sure. Lauren Stark, director of public relations at New York, wrote in an email, and to list every single occasion in which he said something controversial would be impossible. On the question of Cosby specifically, Charlamagne issued a mea culpa nearly a year ago. Stark's email links to the Huffington Post story, which was not linked or mentioned in the New York article. In a piece about Kanye West a few months ago, New York writer at large Rember Brown notes that when the rapper was deluded enough to tweet Bill Cosby innocent, you feel let down. Those same expectations explain why the incomplete profile of an important voice like Charlamagne leaves one feeling let down too. See, I don't feel let down because I knew he was a piece of shit. I've been known he was a piece of shit, right? So we've been known that. Now, Charlamagne's also faced backlash for his comments on domestic violence too. He talked about this on Vlad while discussing the Chris Brown and Rihanna situation, and this is kind of the, his views on domestic violence. Shout out to Vlad as well.
Listen, more power to them. I think that they're soulmates. I really do. I think that they're soulmates, and I think that they understand each other. And
I think him and Bill Cosby are soulmates too. I think they understand each other.
I don't see the problem with Chris and Rihanna back together. I think it's a beautiful thing. Now, if Chris ever puts his hands on Rihanna again, he'd be a goddamn fool, because his career is on the ropes as we speak. He's just starting to get his footing back. If he ever puts his hands on Rihanna again, it's a wrap.
Are you surprised that Rihanna got back with Chris after the violent incident?
Nah, I'm not surprised, man. The reason I'm not surprised is because we all done put our hands on our chick at some point. Hey.
No, we haven't all. I've never put my hands on my chick. All right, never. Unless we having a good time. Unless we having a good time. Nah, never, ever. We don't do that. Never put something in her drink. Never put hands on her. Nope. Nope. But when you are like this, you think everybody on the same shit.
Y'all can sit there and act like we all done put our hands on our chick.
Cat. Lies. Liar. Disgusting. How dare you? You make me ashamed to be a man. Like, you actually just like, you thinking that all men are like this is disgusting to me. And you are you're just a disgrace. You're letting men down everywhere. You're making us look bad. You're scaring the hoes. You're actually scaring the hoes. You telling the hoes, we all hit you. We're all going to hit you. That's everyone's, never.
At some point, hey, y'all can sit there and act like y'all haven't. You choked your chick at least pinched her.
Never.
You know what I'm saying? So like,
never.
That happens. Things happen.
So you put your hands on a girl before?
I've definitely put my hands on a girl before. That's something that it's something you learn from.
You put your hands on a girl, you put your hands on a drink, like, you know what I'm saying? It just happens, right?
Mistakes.
How serious was it?
Oh man. Well.
Listen, Vlad's my guy. Vlad's my OG. But like, when people say Vlad be asking the police questions, I wouldn't normally agree, but this time Vlad low-key Vlad has this man admitting crimes, bro. You a domestic abuser. That's your man's, right? DJ Envy, where were you at?
It was this one time, it was this girl I was dating. I was young, I was like 16. And she was having sex with this dude.
16's young, right? So 15, super young, right?
I was like 24, 25, and I knew she was banging dude. I literally sat outside this dude's house and listening to him fucking the shit out my little 15-year-old pussy. Mind you, I'm 16, she's 15. This nigga's 24, you're fucking pedophile. Of course you gonna fuck this shit.
All right.
I mean, screaming crazy. So I'm sitting there, eyes watering. So like a week later, me being the sucker I am, you know, I'm back with her, I'm fucking her, and I come fast. So she pushes me off her, and she goes, that's why I'm fucking such and such now. Oh, my nigga, I just saw white. I just saw white and red.
You became what you hated, allegedly, right? According to some reports, you denied it. But some people suggest that you became what you hated.
Naked. She's under me. So it's like, yo, shit happens. You know what I mean? Like, this shit happens, yo. Like,
what do you think? I mean, no one will ever really know. I mean, I guess outside of Chris and Rihanna, but what do you think really happened in that car to make Chris just bug out?
You know what?
You think the finger to the hand?
Yeah, this is the thing, right? And I fuck with Rihanna.
Caribbean women,
exactly.
I have a bit of a reputation for being a bit crazy. Shout out to all my Caribbean women.
Exactly.
I love y'all, but
that's exactly what it was. She's Caribbean. It's only but so many times you're gonna tell me go suck your mother. Go suck your mother, Chris. Rihanna probably was beating up on Chris for a long time, man, and Chris probably it just frustrated him, so it all came out in that car that day. But you know, man, like I said,
keep this man away from women. I can't believe this guy has daughters, bro. It's actually I feel bad for his children having this disgrace be a father. How can you possibly feel safe in the household when this is your father? Now, this kind of got a lot of attention all the way back then. This is 8 years ago people were reacting to this. So it was a 2013 interview. This resurfaced in 2018, and people were basically saying it's disgusting, right? Since Charlamagne was accused of R-wording a 15-year-old girl in 2001, he pled to contributing to the delinquency of a minor, got 3 years probation. The girl whose mother prevented her from going to trial is now trying to reopen the case, and this is him admitting to beating women and defending Chris Brown in an interview. We all done put our hands on our chicks. Nah, stop it. He's an idiot. He got Donkey of the Decade for that. Right? Giving himself Donkey of the Day for sidestepping. He should give himself Donkey of the... Donkey of the Day... We don't need that no more. You over with, bro. It's over. Like, you irrelevant. Like, you over with, bro. I can't believe this guy's on Netflix. It's mental. Hearing them talk about it like it's just one of those things is gross. I'm not going to lie. I'm disappointed Vlad didn't check him. But he kind of just let him hang himself with his own words, to be honest. Charlamagne the God somehow brings up Riri's Caribbean origin and implies that's what made Chris Brown beat her. That's not even close to the worst thing he said in this interview. It's trash. That's the flimsiest and strangest attempt at justification I've ever heard. It's not like there was some huge language barrier or anything. And asking Logic that question was also bad. People didn't watch the actual video. It's pretty bad. Jump to 137 where he says he was throwing bows down on his girl. But it was a joke. It's a joke, right? Fuck Charlamagne. It's been fuck Charlamagne for 8 years, apparently. Okay? When he told the story, I thought, well, that's effed up, but at least he learned from it. Then he goes straight into blaming Rihanna. Wait, what? The F, my dude? You obviously didn't learn an effing thing. He sounded like he was going into a story about redemption, then he totally blew that shit. Charlamagne is not likable at all. Charlamagne defenders in shambles. Who the fuck defends this guy? The story didn't surprise me at all. You mean the dude who's a supreme dickhead to everybody on his show, including the other hosts, is a bad person? I'm shocked. I'm shocked. All right? Wasn't Charlamagne clowning Joe for domestic abuse? Yeah, clowning for getting caught. Brilliant Idiot's gonna be a must listen tomorrow. All right. Why are there 10 comments bitching about everyone here's defending Charlamagne when there's only 2 comments that can be taken that way? F Charlamagne. That's your man's, right? What, Envy? Who else rocking with Charlamagne? Who else rocking out with Charlamagne that we can think of, right? You are a joke, all right? Look, there's been a lot of things that have been brought up in this video. You know, I've given you a lot of my opinions. I think he's disgusting. I think he's a mess. Putting his hands on women, self-admitting putting things in women's drinks. But he's going to say it's all a joke, isn't he? He's going to say it's one big joke. Well, I'll tell you what the big joke is. Charlamagne the God. He's a joke. You're a joke. If you're watching this, you're a joke. You're disgusting. I can't believe you got this far. I can't believe you got this far in the industry, in the game. Okay, it's insane, and I'm sure he hates me. I've always he's probably, even if he's never heard of me, if he ever hears about me, I know he's gonna hate me. I ain't never ever needed to kiss nobody's ass to get to where I am in the culture, right? Oh my god. Oh, he's a white guy in the oh my god. I don't give a shit, bro. I ain't never said any of that disgusting stuff. I've never caused harm to black women or anybody in the way that you have. It's disgusting. It's disgraceful. You shouldn't be on Netflix. You shouldn't have a career. You shouldn't have a show. I didn't even know a lot of this until like recent. I'd heard little things here and there, but it's only recently it's been put on my radar that how disgusting this. I can't believe he's had this many opportunities. Whoa. So look, I think this is the funeral of Charlamagne's career. I don't think I'm going to end his career. He's done that himself, but it's unbelievable. He on Netflix, bro. He on Netflix. Netflix, that's your mans that you be hanging with, that you be breaking bread with, doing shows with. Netflix, that's your mans, right? That's your guy that you be doing shows, breaking bread, breaking the money up with, right? iHeart, right? Jay-Z, Sean Carter, this is your mans, right? I'm done. I'm disgusted. I'm actually gonna have to go and like have a hot shower after this because I feel disgusting and sweaty. I just can't, I actually feel gross after talking about all of this. So the war between Charlamagne the God and Akademiks has gone into a whole new phase, and Charlamagne is getting exposed on a few different fronts, and it's not looking too good for him. So I'm going to break down everything that's been going on since my last video about Charlamagne, all right? Charlamagne the creep, as I be calling him, all right? Be careful, keep your lids on your drinks when Charlamagne's around. That's all I'm going to say. But in response to Akademiks, it's very, very interesting because what seemed to be one of Charlamagne and Rock Nation's allies, a Jay-Z defender, has now maybe accidentally exposed Charlamagne for being involved in some pretty shady stuff. Now, the person responsible is Waymo. Now, you might remember this guy. He used to work at Lids telling people what hats they could wear. He's now responsible for, I guess, these self-driving cars that you see around in LA. So shout out to Waymo, man. I really like his work. But he revealed some new information in one of his videos that he did recently, all about Charlamagne and Jay-Z apparently being involved in this secret Times Square casino bid. So let's hear what Waymo had to say about it.
Yo, the craziest thing too, when I started hearing even Charlamagne talk about, Charlamagne talk about like steak. I'm like, yo, bro. This is what I'm saying. Charlamagne got like, yo, let's sit down. We got to do it on both our platforms. Let's sit down and really talk about it all. Because I want to look Charlamagne in his eyes and say, nigga, how you got so much fucking opinion about steak or what you think steak is doing or what you think crypto gambling is or whatever you think it is. But you showed up there for Jay-Z when he was about to get a bid for the casino in Times Square, you gave a speech on his behalf, nigga. I'm listening to this new podcast, Charlamagne's like, yo, this is influencing the kids. Nigga, you tried to get a casino in the middle of Times Square. Bruh, stop it, bro. We gonna have to, bruh, I'm telling you, I'm looking at him like, yo, it was music to my ears when Charlamagne said, nah, Ak, we gotta talk about it. Nigga, I've been trying to talk about it. You don't gotta, I wanna talk publicly because I don't have no secrets with nobody. Nigga, Charlamagne gave a speech. Yo, imagine me giving a steak speech. Yo, hey, listen. Yo, Charlamagne gave a speech, gang. Now he's over here talking about, oh, the kids is getting influenced by gambling, by streamers. What about the radio personality giving speeches at the town hall meeting? Come on, bro. This shit is goofy. That's what I'm like, yo, I'm really thinking, what is Jay-Z doing to get my nigga Charla moving like this? I can't believe it.
Now, for full context, Akademiks is wrong, and he just don't know. Charlamagne was not there on the behalf of Jay-Z. Charlamagne was there on the behalf of himself because he had equity in the casino. Yes, he was a person that invested, and the bid did not go through, but a lot of people don't know that. Now, when he says that this stuff is not about Jay-Z, it's not about Jay-Z, but I don't think nobody talks about Jay-Z currently more than Akademiks and Akademiks TV. Now, let's go back.
So look, all right, this low key was a revelation. I don't think anybody really knew for sure that Charlamagne was involved in this casino Jay-Z gambling situation they was trying to pitch for Times Square until Waymo confirmed it. It was pretty crazy. I'm like, whoa, this is pretty big news. This is a big update, but here's the problem, all right? Charlamagne's talked about that casino bid several times on the radio, and under the FTC rules, okay, you about to find out, all right? The endorsement guidelines means that you really can't hop on the radio on a public broadcast bigging up Jay-Z's casino move, having secretly had equity in it, because you actually have to disclose any possible financial interest. I don't have a little side business like all these guys do, right? Maybe one day. But let's just say I started my own drink, all right? Let's just say I started my own drink. Let's just say, for the purpose of just some shit I have on my desk, all right, let's just say I started Amino Energy. I started Trapino Energy, okay? This is what I'm drinking today. It's very tasty. But say I start popping out on videos saying, this is the most delicious drink in the whole world, man. I love this. It's so fire. It's the best drink in the world. This made me strong. All of my success I owe to this drink. And I didn't tell you that this was my drink that I owned. All right, I'm low-key finessing you. I'm tricking you. I'm probably not really meaning any of those things. I'm just trying to convince you and trick you into purchasing my drink, my beverage, so that I can get rich. And I'll tell you anything. You need it's a different story when you say, look, this is my drink that I've started. This is actually something that I've started. I've invented this, and I'm the reason that this drink is actually on the shelves. And I'm telling you should buy my drink. It's different. You low-key finessing and scamming your audience, and you can't do that, okay? So here's some background from Forbes, basically explaining why this is not allowed, and you need to disclose. If you have a financial interest in the shit you hopping on the radio exposing, all right, you need to actually explain this. What the hell is going on with her glasses, by the way?
My role at the FTC is to direct the Division of Advertising Practices, which generally oversees national advertising. Whenever you're looking at what someone says about a product, whether it's an online review or even just your friend telling you what they thought about it, you want to know where they're coming from. And if they have been paid or incentivized in some way to promote the product, then that's going to affect how much weight or credibility you give what they say.
I think it's become a really big thing for social media influencers to be more transparent, because there were some really big scandals recently about people who were promoting like certain gambling websites without saying they were affiliated with them.
So the FTC just says that influencers need to make it clear to their audience when they're working with a brand or being paid. We don't say exactly how you have to do that.
So here's the thing. A lot of people are going to say, oh, Akademiks is a hypocrite. Oh, Akademiks was promoting Stake. Well, the problem is it's a different story. Everybody knew that all of these influencers were being paid by Stake. The issue with that, from what I understand, is that allegedly some people was gambling with fake money that wasn't real. They weren't really risking their own money, but it'd been known that they were doing sponsorships with Stake. The thing with Charlamagne that's different is he was on the Breakfast Club talking about how great of a move that this Times Square casino would be, without disclosing that he allegedly had equity in it. And where this is really messed up is you're all pointing fingers at each other, gambling, you're all shilling gambling. I don't fuck with gambling. You're all low-key, bro. Some of these people are my friends, but like low-key, bro, you wrong, bro. Stop trying to get the next generation. If you're a degenerate gambler, all right, I know Akademiks be gambling millions. That's his thing. Some people like to gamble, bro, but like I feel like anybody trying to convince other people to gamble isn't really like the best look in my book. At least if you are a gambler, it's okay. I don't really gamble. I've been to Vegas and messed around, but I wouldn't say I gamble day to day. I don't be doing none of this prize picks nonsense, any of this crypto gamble. I don't do it, so I don't promote it. It would be wrong. At least someone like Ak is actually he actually gambles. This is something he actually indulges in and enjoys. So he's shouting people out, saying these are the companies that I actually gamble with. That's cool. But Charlamagne, he on here acting like he ain't got nothing to do with nothing, saying how great it is Jay-Z should have a casino in Times Square. Let Jay-Z get everyone into gambling. He's already rich enough.
Now, a couple of months ago, we tell you about a casino possibly opening in Times Square. Well, Jay-Z's Rock Nation plans and wants to open a casino right in Times Square. Earlier this week, Hove agency shared an open letter detailing plans to develop a casino in...
Charlamagne knows all the details.
Last week, yeah, they shared an open letter detailing plans to develop a casino in Manhattan's Times Square. They did it with several newspaper ads. You've seen several people posting it. They're only giving one gaming license to New York City, and Hove wants that license.
Yeah, that needs to happen. I mean, that has to happen. Like in the letter, Rock Nation states there's no...
That needs to happen. Look at him rubbing his hands together like Birdman. He thinking he getting paid already. He already spent the money in his head. Yeah, that needs to happen, man. Yeah, Yeah, that needs to happen. That needs. Let me just put a little something in your drink. Yeah, all the drinks that you could spike at this casino.
No better location for a Caesars Palace entertainment destination in Times Square, and I couldn't agree more. Because the reality is, there's nothing in Times Square right now. Like the biggest attraction.
There's nothing in Times Square. Don't get me pissed off. Times Square. There's nothing in. Are you kidding me? Do you think we're dumb? This guy thinks we're dumb. This guy thinks we're dummies. This guy thinks we're dummies. This man just said there's nothing in Times Square. There's not. What the fuck are you talking about? Popeyes. There's nothing in time. There ain't nothing in Times Square. There ain't nothing in Times Square. Times Square ain't what. Ain't nothing to do in Times Square. Ain't jack shit. I ain't taken one step. AP Swatch. Ain't shit to do. Ain't nothing going on down here. There's more going on in Bognor Regis, where I'm from. Ain't nothing. Couldn't get tickets to nothing in Times Square. I'm bored. Ain't nothing to do in here. Nothing to look at. I'm so unstimulated right now. I'm so bored. This guy is a fucking idiot. No, he's not an idiot. He's a liar. He's a liar. He will lie to your face. He will allegedly spike your drink. All right? Ain't nothing to see here. Nothing to do in Times Square. Nothing fizzing in your drink. Shout out to Waymo. That's him doing a shift. Bro, what on earth are you talking about? I can get all the vapes and you know what I'm saying? There's nothing going on in Times Square. We about to get high as hell in Times Square. We about to go. What are you talking? No, this guy is an absolute fraud. This guy, nothing to do in Times Square. Let's go. Times Square is popping. Nothing. Let's take a bus ride book a more. Don't even get me started on M&M World. M&M World ain't nothing to. Bro, I wish there was just something to do. I wish I could just gamble all my money with Rock Nation in Times Square, man. Because right now I'm bored as hell. I'm bored. I'm so bored. Ain't nothing to do in here. I wish there was just something I could do. I wish I could just. There's nothing. I'm out here with nothing to do. Nothing. I'm so bored. I'm so bored. I'm bored. I got nothing to do. I'm bored as. This guy is a joke. This guy is a joke, bro. It's actually offensive.
Action in Times Square should not be the naked because for a Caesars Palace entertainment destination in Times Square, and I couldn't agree more. Because the reality is, there's nothing in Times Square right now. Like the biggest attraction in Times Square should not be the naked cowboy.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And imagine flying into New York and being able to stay at the Caesars Palace Casino for the weekend and partaking in all the fine dining and the Broadway plays. Think about all the jobs that are going to be created from opening this casino in Times Square. Think of all the business.
He need a job. He's thinking there's one job getting created that he's super interested in, okay? He trying to be the bartender over there.
That will be positively impacted because of all the traffic that's going to be coming through Times Square. That's more money for mass transit. And Rock Nation said they're going to invest in security heavy, and that's exactly what Times Square...
That's exactly what they need, because you getting punched outside the studio, right? You getting lefts and rights in the back of the head outside the studio getting caught lacking. So you're going to need Rock Nation to invest in that security. This guy's a joke.
New York needs more security. And on top of all that, you have an icon, Brooklyn's own, the greatest rapper of all time, one of the greatest musical acts of all time at the helm of all this, Jay-Z. Come on, man. Isn't it?
Bro, take Jay-Z's schlong out of your mouth. Please, okay? He didn't even have to spike your drink to get that kind of action.
There's nobody in New York that could get a casino license that could attract a diverse crowd of people from all over the world that Sean Carter would.
Now, the proposal, as Charlamagne said, they want to give back to all surrounding businesses. They want to commit.
I'm confused because where's the ad disclosure? This sounds like an ad to me, but I ain't seen any ad disclosure. I ain't seen nothing to say advert, sponsored content, equity owner. I'm not sure because the FTC said that you got to disclose this, but I'm not seeing. I'm not seeing any ad disclosure. I didn't start the video. I said this is paid product placement. This video is still in violation of the FTC guidelines.
Made $115 million for diverse theater programs that also include daycare for Broadway workers and their families.
Come on, man.
They want to benefit mass transit.
He out here doing ad libs for Jay-Z. He out here taking breaks from Gok 3000, all right? He pulling it out his mouth to drop an ad lib and then he getting back to work.
Invest money into sanitation and security.
Come on, man.
All the way into Hell's Kitchen, which is an area in New York City. They want to develop and deliver a much needed transportation plan to make transportation a lot easier. They want to protect the interests of actors, like I said, producers, theater staff, writers, and people that want to go to Broadway to make it a lot easier.
That's
and they
right.
want to provide opportunities and jobs for all.
It's
So
a no-brainer.
Take that.
Do you know how many people would love to come to New York just to go to Jay-Z's casino?
Yeah,
To
so
stay at Jay-Z's Caesar's Palace? Come on, New York. Make the right.
Do you know how many people would love to just hop on their knees and suck Jay-Z's cock? At least one. Charlamagne the Creep.
Call. That's an easy call. Rock Nation Times Square.
now they're saying the winner of the New York City Monumental New Gaming License will be announced later this year.
Well, I hope it's Rock Nation, and you know, because that 1515 location would be absolutely perfect for New York City. It would change the landscape of the whole city.
Now it's not the whole.
See, I'm glad that he wiped his chin when he was done with Jay-Z's cock in his mouth. At least he wiped his chin. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least keep it respectful. Give your chin a little wipe when you're done slopping Jay-Z's top in, okay? Because that was absolutely shameful display of subservience there. But anyway, in 2025, Charlamagne also talked about how big it was for both Jay-Z and Nas to be involved in their own different casino bids, without mentioning he was allegedly
I'm still thinking about Jay-Z
on
and
one
Nas
side.
both being part of bids to get casinos in New York City. Do you know how big that is? Drop on the clues bombs for
That is
Jay-Z and
amazing.
Nas.
That's really
I don't think
big
people
for New York.
understand because they so rich and they be doing so much stuff. I don't think people get it.
Like, they both submitted requests for proposals for something like that on the same. Well, everybody had to do it on the same day, but that's the architect of reasonable doubt and ill.
He know too much. You know, the days it has to be promoted. You know what I'm saying? Do you think he's got some Jay-Z cream in that coffee?
And they're both part of bids to get casinos in their hometowns in New York City.
Think about it. They both came from the hood.
That's
Nas from
big business,
Queensbridge
man.
and Jay from Marcy. And
Come on, man.
what they did with their music catalogs and how they turned it to big business with investments. Nas with Uber and...
I'm still thinking about Jay-Z and Nas in Illmatic, and they're both
did with their music catalogs and how they turned it to big business with investments. Nas with Uber and Ring and
who dating who is cute and who getting tattoos
Jay
who is
with
cute, but god damn,
the liquor brands, Rock
All
Nation,
of it is
the
nice, though.
management.
All of it. And this is great.
And where they are now
For New
in
York.
life.
This is going to be real great, even greater for New York. This is amazing.
It's going to be even great, man, because we're going to get these young New Yorkers, you know what I'm saying, from all different backgrounds from the Marcy Projects, hooked on gambling, because that's what it's all about. It's all about filling our pockets and filling Jay-Z's already swollen pockets with gambling money from the vulnerable people who don't have as much money as him. But anyway, all right, Charlamagne would extensively discuss just how much New York needed something like this. It's needed, apparently. It's needed.
Now
and Times Square is needed. Times Square needs it. I don't care what y'all say.
a lot of people don't believe that though.
Well, I don't believe those people. What other bright idea they got?
I don't know, but I've seen people push back against it.
Well, what else are you going to do to revitalize Times Square? Times Square got Broadway, and what else?
I've already showed you, bro. I've already showed you.
And them characters that be outside dressed up that be taking pictures of people.
The roasted peanuts.
And probably some down low prostitution.
He would know all about that, wouldn't he?
It might be the people in the suits. Now I'm going to go out there and give them $50 and see what he tickle you at.
See if he punish you. All right.
Yeah, that's Charlamagne for you, okay? So in another 2025 segment, Charlamagne would discuss how New York currently looks and why he believed the casino would help. Can we please just get everybody hooked on gambling for my own benefit and Jay-Z's?
I mean, all it's going to do is increase, tourism and, increase the amount of bodies that go down to Times Square, which should lift up everything.
Yeah, the only thing I see is they say traffic, right? But
A lot more of it.
But with congestion prices, it calmed down the traffic a lot. But I don't see it nothing doing anything but helping Broadway.
Exactly.
Because if more tourists come in town, it gives you things to do.
You can do a whole weekend. You come to your video from Thursday to Sunday.
Yeah, you can do the Broadway. You can do the casino. There'll be shows there. There'll be comedy shows. There'll be stuff to do in Broadway, and then you go over the other side and go to the American Dream Mall and go roller coaster riding with your kids. So there's gonna be a lot to do. I think it's gonna bring more people to the area, which I think is a good thing for Broadway, since Broadway is suffering so bad.
This is one of the most popular districts in the entire fucking planet. This guy is full of shit. It's going to bring more people to Times Square. Times Square, the most famous.
I agree. And yesterday they said, he said in that meeting that 2.5% of all of the revenue is going to go to Manhattan Plaza forever.
Yeah.
Times Square is the most visited tourist destination in the United States and one of the most famous places in the world. It's not about, oh, we're going to bring more people to Times Square. Times Square needs revitalizing. It's about revitalizing you and Jay-Z's bank account. It's about sticking your disgusting, convincing people to gamble casino slap bang in the middle of one of the already most successful and popular shopping districts in the entire world. This is about you inserting yourself. How disgraceful and just self-obsessed do you really think that you and your bullshit gambling play is going to revitalize the already most popular shopping district in the entire world, one of the most famous places on the planet? You absolute joker. What a clown. Times Square is one of the world's busiest pedestrian intersects, tourist destinations, and entertainment hubs. Charlamagne talking about what is there to do in Times Square. What is there to do? We're going to revitalize it. We're going to have more people in Times Square. Because that's what you need. This man will lie to your face. Yeah, we need more shopping in Times Square. No, I didn't put anything in your drink. It's disgusting.
In perpetuity?
I don't think.
Come on, man.
I think that's great.
I think it is too. I mean, anytime you can do something like that where it's like continued and it's going to like keep it's going to keep circling back around to the people, it's a good thing. But to have a person from New York,
what a casino. Anytime you can put something that's going to keep circling around to the community, a casino. You just trying to get black people gambling and broke. You trying to harm your own people. But that's the Jay-Z playbook. All right? Don't drink Cristal. Destroy yourself with my alcohol. Don't drink Henny. Drink Douce. Don't gamble over there. Gamble with Jay-Z. It doesn't matter. He doesn't give a shit about what happens to the community or his people. It's all about filling Jay-Z's pockets, okay? And Charlamagne filling his throat with Jay-Z's kids.
Like Jay-Z be at the helm of it. I think people don't understand how big that is.
It's projected to drive nearly $900 million in annual neighborhood spending for that whole area. And New York needs that. New York hasn't had an upgrade in so goddamn long. I be thinking New York need to look like Dubai. At least.
Bruv, Dubai wishes it looked like New York's bruv. Stop trying to lie to us, bro. We saw what you did to the drink. We saw what you did. This is a metaphor, okay? I'm just using this as a metaphor, okay? But this is he's metaphorically spiking our drink, but instead of a drink, it's ideas in the community. All right, that's what I'm trying to say.
At least Charlotte.
Nah, it should.
You know what I mean? At least Dallas.
New York looks disgusting.
You know what I mean? At least downtown Chicago.
The fact that this guy would say we're trying to make New York like downtown Chicago is just despicable. He will lie to his people. He'll lie to his audience. He will do absolutely anything to enrich himself. But here's the beautiful, big, beautiful, glorious part of all of it. On September the 17th, 2025, Jay-Z's Times Square casino bid was duly denied, okay, after a 4-2 vote by the Community Advisory Committee. And the Breakfast Club responded, the community slapped you guys. Unlucky, folks. Correction. All those hundreds of millions of dollars being sucked out of the community by degenerate gambling. Corrected you there.
That kind of investment into Times Square and that community now.
Times Square didn't need no investments. Already the most popular shopping district in the entire world. You're full of shit, okay? Keep the lids on your drinks, folks. You saying Times Square don't got a younger audience. Bro, the YNs be shooting up Times Square all the time, bro. How many drill rappers from the Bronx be out in Times Square getting in all sorts of issues? All the young generation is outside in Times Square, bro. Talking about only old people, bro. It's nonsense.
Square gonna look like.
I'm not for sure. I can tell you though. Well, first of all, that audio that was SL. The
CEO of SL Green.
The CEO of SL Green, Mark Holly.
They saying that the youth ain't in Times Square. Crowd runs for cover in New York's Times Square after shooting. 17-year-old in police custody. Bro, the youth are running Times Square. The youth definitely running in Times Square, okay? So just leave it out, all right? Leave it out. We've been knowing this. I don't think I can even show you this footage, but this shit's crazy. This was like 2 weeks ago, all right? So you trying to tell me the youth ain't in Times Square? Give me a break. So you doing point guard for Rock Nation, right? You reading Desiree Perez's statement on the air, and Charlamagne acting like he's not bothered, but then he's saying we need to bring the youth. There's nothing but old people in Times Square. This is the most popular shopping. I ain't even got to say it again, but he's a liar. Get your community hooked on gambling for Jay-Z's benefit. Okay, the mind games, all right? And it's so ironic that Jay-Z talking about I'm beefing with MAGA Republicans. This is exactly the type of thing that Republican politicians, you catch them doing. They'll weave the most amazing narrative to basically just try and explain in some roundabout way for you to do what they want to do, right? Jay-Z moving like a politician. He's so full of shit, right? And unfortunately, a lot of people are, stupid enough to just go along with what he's saying. And look at this. I cannot believe the the gall of this man. Look at this. Look at this. Wait a minute. Let me zoom in. He's got on a shelf a book called Get Honest or Die Lying. You a dead man. You marked for death. Get Honest or Die Lying. This guy is a clown. He's R.I.P. Charlamagne, bro. He's not long for this earth. This is no good. Get Honest or Die Lying. It's going to be funeral for Charlamagne Cosby very soon. They're shills. They're just corporate shills, right? They're just shilling for Jay-Z. They're shilling for Charlamagne. It is an absolute disgrace and an insult to their own audience. What do you mean? Oh, this is what local politics is all about. What, to get a billionaire's casino approved in the already most popular shopping district in the world? You think, and it's unfortunate because some people are stupid enough to not see through this, but these people have disdain for their audience. They think their audience are so dumb that they're just going to gobble this up like Charlamagne gobbles up Jay-Z's cock.
How do you vote them in or out? So just want to throw that out there, guys. If you want to make a difference, get involved in the local level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's
get involved if you want to make a difference, man. If you want to make a difference, all right, and make a change for the community, a change for the future, get involved in local politics so that you can get a billionaire's casino approved in an already busy shopping district, right? I can't remember. Did Martin Luther King talk about he had a dream that his children will be judged not by the content of the color of their skin, but the content of their casinos. All right. No, wait. The content of their character. I don't even remember. I don't care. Just shut up and go and march for Jay-Z's billionaire casino, please.
Conversation has been started as well too. From this is that voting conversation. Hey y'all, what's up? It's Lauren LaRosa letting you know.
What an absolute bunch of clowns, all right? So the conversation has now shifted to whether Charlamagne should have disclosed the alleged equity stake before publicly supporting the project. Yes.
I don't care what y'all say.
A lot of people don't believe that though.
Well, I don't believe those people. What else?
Was not there on the behalf of Jay-Z. Charlamagne was there on the behalf of himself because he had
equity in the casino.
Yes, he was a person that invested and the bid did not go through.
But a lot of people don't know that.
Town Square needs it. Town Square needs it. Town Square needs it.
Town Square needs it.
According to FTC, endorsement guides material financial connections between endorsers and companies must be clearly and conspicuously disclosed. Undisclosed equity stakes could constitute deceptive advertising, Plugola violations. Both the endorser and the company can face civil penalties, consent decrees, or lawsuits. Simply put, if you own part of a company or stand to make money from it, you have to tell people before you promote it.
Just like you have to tell somebody if you put something in their drink, you know what I'm saying? You can't just slip it by them and not let them know. But Charlamagne knows how he should be doing things. But people saying, yes, he should have, all right? I know this is about Charlamagne, but I cannot believe DJ Envy has basically been able to move past promoting that real estate fraud where many people lost tens and some hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? He should have disclosed his involvement. I don't care that he's not a journalist. He still owes people the truth. People don't understand the full truth without disclosure. He's a person of influence putting his thumb on the scale while pretending to be a neutral party, knowing full well that his opinion will sway some. He's got his thumb on the scale and his index finger just slid right into Jay-Z's nether regions. You know what I'm saying? It says, yes, kind of explains why he's out fighting for Jay-Z. He's fighting for his business partner. It's weird, though. He was on Drake's back for not being forward if he's actually betting his own money on stake while he's a casino investor and didn't disclose it. Oh, no. Charlamagne, the R word, should have been cancelled years ago. He's a creep, right? He's disgusting. He absolutely should have disclosed this. I'm glad it didn't go through. It's not only the shady thing that he's done or been involved in. Now folks can see even more that him and Jay-Z are in cahoots. Yes, but since he's a real journalist, he isn't beholden to journalists. Since he isn't a real journalist, it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. He's saying you're right. He's beholden to FTC guidelines because he's being broadcast on FTC regulated airwaves. Oopsie. That's because they're all snakes. I'm glad they didn't get that in, right? All right. It would be a terrible idea. Increase crime without a doubt. I've always figured if Jay-Z or his ventures are mentioned in any media, it's because he paid for it. Isn't that how he started his rap career? So here's another post just on the same thing. I'm just going to read you some more of the comments because everybody's livid. They think Charlamagne's a joke, right? Waymo confirms that Charlamagne had the equity. We already saw this. But people are saying, this is why I got out of the journalism industry. The morals are zero. My favorite is when Taylor Brooks calls herself a journalist during a commercial where she's actively selling a product. Says radio in New York always had a weird relationship with ads and editorial. I remember Angie Martinez used to push Casper mattresses on air like it was her own personal discovery and no one batted an eye. Charlamagne doing full segments on the casino bid without mentioning his equity feels like that same energy just amplified to $1 billion deal. Waymo confirming it just puts a timestamp on something a lot of listeners already joked about in the daily threads. I don't think he broke any laws, but he makes the but it makes the constant campaigning ring hollow. He's always the first one to call out the others for taking money to push narratives, so this is a tough look. It's just funny how selective outrage works in this space. Still, I get it. Everyone's trying to eat off these deals, and the casino was doomed anyway. Okay, they're saying Charlamagne admitted this on Brilliant Idiots after the bid got knocked back. To be fair, Charlamagne or his financial management has to confirm this, not Waymo. That being said, I think it's in print that Charlamagne was a paid spokesperson for the casino. Not sure if that's any better. Is this a problem? I'd do the same. Well, yes, it's a problem. This isn't breaking news. Charlamagne and Fat Joe were both at the public hearing last year. Okay. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, it says the article provides no such evidence. Inside the war over Jay-Z's New York City casino, the rap legend recruited everyone from Alicia Keys, Al Sharpton to Charlamagne. No! What do you mean there's no proof? What? What do you mean there's no proof? It's there. Charlamagne the creep. I mean, God. They were trying to land a $5.4 million gambling palace in Times Square. He didn't count on one thing. Theater kids. Not these kids. I thought there were no kids on Times Square. I thought there were no kids on the theater. I thought there was no one young on Times Square unless they shoot in a place. What? Fuck it. Let's read it. I'll just read you the whole thing. Fuck it. We're going long. All right, we danced on Charlamagne's grave. Tens of billions of dollars, thousands of jobs, and quite possibly the fate of New York's most iconic industry and most awful tourist trap were all at stake. Steak? I got PTSD. But the closing days of a years-long fight over whether to build a casino in Times Square all seem to revolve around one man, Jay-Z. Oh, he's the rock. Okay, you could see it. I'm so delighted he didn't get this. Why on earth should this man, who's already a billionaire, get more access to more billions at the off the backs of normal hardworking people that get sucked into gambling? It's disgusting. You could see it over the summer when Al Sharpton, they brought out Al Sharpton, all right, headlined a rally south of Times Square, iconic red steps. Say yes time in Times Square, Jay-Z, he shouted. You could see it last week at the Broadhurst Theatre on 44th Street, the site of a final public hearing on the casino before a do or die vote. What do you mean do or die? No one's dying, bro. You're just not having an extra $4 billion, bro. Get over it. For the first time, promised Mark Holliday, the CEO of the city's largest commercial real estate firm, everyone has a seat at this table with Jay-Z at the head. It just so happens that your seats are so small and they're kneeling chairs for you to kneel down in front of Jay-Z and gobble him up. Hove, through this entertainment firm, Rock Nation, poured hundreds of millions into a stake in the project. Oh, no, he lost it. According to its CEO, Desiree Perez, then Rock Nation joined Holiday's company SL Green and Caesars Entertainment in spending millions and millions more promoting it to sometimes wary lawmakers, municipal bureaucrats, and the public at large. That's where Charlamagne came in. The goal, secure one of 3 licenses for the casinos in New York City area. Didn't go to plan, did it? Jay-Z, you lost your money. On Wednesday, everything fell apart. Oh, no. Before a bid could even be considered by the state's regulators, it had to capture 4 of 6 votes from the Community Advisory Committee. The community, all appointed by local politicians. But why did Charlamagne and the Breakfast Club lie to us and say that this was an unelected group of bureaucrats? All right? I mean, they weren't elected, but they were appointed by local politicians who I would believe would be elected, and they're working on behalf of the community. Everyone else is working on behalf of Jay-Z. That vote finally happened after years of build-up, and the committee decisively rejected the bid 4-2 against Jay-Z's big play in Times Square. Unlucky, chum. Despite support from the mayor and the governor of New York, the Times Square casino is dead. It's over with. It's dead. Right? R.I.P. It's a massive loss for all of the partners in the Times Square casino project, including its most famous one, whose up from nothing, keep close to the street story was at the center of the closing argument. We from these neighborhoods, Jay-Z told. Are you from Times? Is Marcy Projects located in Times Square? Is Marcy Projects? Nah, it's not there. Looked it up. Not there. Nah, it's cap. All right. They sat across a conference table over the summer. We hear a lot of talk about community. We are the community. You a billionaire. We're not saying give it to us because we happen to be black, Hispanic, and female. Jay-Z transitioning all of a sudden. What? I ain't heard that one. Perez tells me right before the big vote. That's not what we're saying. Of course not. But what we are saying is don't ignore who we are, what we stand for, where we come from, where we've been, everything we've accomplished. Please do not ignore that, okay? Don't worry about the fact that this is actually bad for the community. We don't need it. There's absolutely no space for a casino, and arguably it's predatory, forcing gambling on the community. Just Master Rock, man. Come on, man. Remember Reasonable Doubt? Just give me the fucking casino. Remember Reasonable Doubt? It's a hard knock life for us. Give me the fucking casino. Give me the billions. It's a hard knock life for Jay-Z. Nonsense. And as for the forces opposing the casino, the theatre types, who worry that tourists might gamble away their Broadway money, absolutely valid, all right? You're taking money out of the cultural experience of Broadway and its illustrious history to shill gambling to put money in Jay-Z's already swollen pockets. Let's not. Or the casino might poison Broadway's delicate ecosystem, create traffic Armageddon in Midtown, or to borrow a phrase from a different rapper, not like us. Jay-Z's allies argued that opponents weren't just a bunch of finger-wagging hall monitors standing in the way of thousands of black and brown people getting casino. So they were all going to be black and brown and running the casino, is it? They were, according to Sharpton, oligarchs. An ironic choice of words given Jay-Z's billionaire status. See, he's beefing with MAGA Republicans. Bro, you are no different to the MAGA Republicans. You doing the same shit. You would love to be at the table with them. It says, but opposition had its own case to make, and that case ultimately prevailed. Casinos weren't just dangerous to the community, they argued. Facts. They rarely even bring in the revenue they promise. One of the casinos in upstate New York, for instance, is pursuing a deal with the country right now worth up to $585 million to stay afloat. So lots of risk with little reward. What's more, casinos tend to bleed money from the sorts of communities Jay-Z said he represents. Facts. That is the biggest facts. But it's a hard knock life for Jay-Z. Promises to the contrary were empty and even harmful to the community, kind of like the ones coming from the former casino owner who's now in the White House. He beefing MAGA Republicans. He just trying to get up there, all right, and be a casino operating billionaire just like Trump. He wants to be Trump. Jay-Z is desperate to be Trump. He wishes he could be Trump. And in New York City, that man is hated more than Jay-Z is loved. Jay-Z's interest in a casino goes back more than 15 years. At the time, New York State was looking to build a slot parlor near the decrepit Aqueduct horse racing track. One of the bidders tapped Jay-Z for informal marketing and community advice. That bidder eventually won, beating out companies like SL Green. But after that deal collapsed, Resorts World, a subsidiary of a Malaysian firm, was given the Aqueduct contract instead. Today, that depressing slot parlor not far from JFK Airport is the most lucrative gambling hall in America outside of Las Vegas, bringing in nearly $1 billion of annual gaming revenue. Wow. Jay-Z and Rock Nation continued to explore casino deals. Then in 2022, SL Green chief Mark Holiday was chatting with Jay-Z courtside at a Brooklyn Nets game. Man, they just like a man of the people courtside at the game, just chatting with billionaires. Maybe they discussed they could try to get together with an even higher stakes contest for one of the licenses for a full-blown casino in or around the city. Holiday and Perez were both honorees at a local charity dinner a few days later. They started ironing out the details. Rock Nation announced its involvement in the Times Square casino bid at the end of the year. Not long after, the Broadway League, which represents theater owners and producers, began mobilizing people support against it. What unfolded was a miniature political campaign similar to what was happening at almost a dozen different sites. On one side, the promise of more work and the buzz that comes with billions in economic activity. On the other, fears that a casino would leech more from the neighborhood than it would add. Facts. Every casino bidder promised hundreds of millions in improvements to the community around them. What, Times Square? Bro, you ain't even got the bankroll to do nothing to Times Square other than put up a casino for your own ends. Each casino bid faced opponents who noticed these payments were a rounding error compared to the money being made. The ultimate goal for these campaigns were to persuade those 6 people on the community advisory to vote their way. Early on, the Times Square group approached State Senator Liz Kruger. She may have been a die-hard gambling opponent. I voted against bingo in church basements, she once told me, but she controlled one of the 6 votes on the Times Square CAC. In a Zoom meeting, she said the casino team asked her if she wanted to meet Jay-Z. She said, why? I don't like his music particularly. She said, I don't give a fuck about meeting Jay-Z. They recalled saying, they're like, you don't want to meet Jay-Z? Well, don't you know who he's married to? She ain't give a fuck. No one cares, bro. No one cares. I'll take $500K not to dinner. I never could learn shit from none of y'all. The jig is up. Hell no. She said, fuck no. What do you mean having dinner with Jay-Z? I don't give a shit about dinner with Jay-Z. I'm a politician. I'm an important person. She didn't meet Beyonce, nor did she get together with Mr. Carter, not even when Jay-Z went up to the state capitol in Albany this May. Jay-Z thinks everyone wants to meet. I don't really even give a shit about meeting Jay-Z, bro. What Jay-Z going to do for me? But the Times Square casino crew used other ways to make their plan more convincing. They recruited former NYPD Commissioner Bill Bratton, who came up with a $78 million plan to secure the neighborhood with drones and cameras and a private security force. Oh, good. Oh, Jay-Z, what are you going to do to secure the community? Oh, we're going to have a dystopian futuristic hellscape where, private militias are securing the area with drones and cameras and a private security force. Oh, yes. Oh, sick. Thanks, Jay-Z. They pledged to buy tens of millions of dollars worth of theater tickets to boost the Broadway economy and pour cash into local charities. And they made the point over and over again that operating a casino in Times Square isn't like doing it anywhere else. No shit. It's not like we're trying to stick this casino building in between some residential neighborhood that's like super quiet. This is supposed to be live and loud. This is supposed to be you taking advantage of the already most popular shopping district while lying to us saying that you're going to revitalize it as if the area needed any help. But there's still plenty of locals in the neighborhoods around Times Squares. On October 16th, 2023, the Times Square Casino team hosted an 8-hour free buffet for locals. No such thing as a free lunch. Of course, Fat Joe turned up to the free buffet. A Rock Nation client, he showed up to lend his support. One prominent local community advocate told reporters she wasn't that impressed. I really think it's a predatory business. Facts, said Aleta Lafargue. President of the Tenants Association at Manhattan Plaza, a massive apartment complex with subsidized units for people working in the arts. Lafargue grew up in Atlantic City, she explained, where casinos promised to lift up the local economy, but did the opposite instead. The association joined the Broadway League's No Times Square Casino Coalition. Shout out to that coalition, man. Keeping things as they should be. The following September, Lafargue struck a more conciliatory tone. We're to listen to what they have to say, what they have to offer, she said, as executives from Rock Nation and SL Green prepared to make a presentation. Shortly thereafter, local news outlet The City published an unsigned $20,000 monthly contract for Lafargue to provide strategic counsel to the casino project. Oh my God, they bought her for 20 racks a month. Perez from Rock Nation, allegedly. Perez from Rock Nation says Lafargue never signed the deal, but we continued to speak to her, and Lafargue continued to be a conduit to the community. It was one of many such offers, Perez added. We have another community leader that did take a consulting fee and did sign us up to work with her so she could lead us. Lafargue initially gave several conflicting explanations in response, but today maintained she never consulted for the casino. Is that all it costs? 20 racks a month to buy and sell your asses, allegedly. In my opinion. This July, Perez announced that the casino would give $22.5 million over 15 years to the Manhattan Plaza and put 0.5%. Oh, 0.5%. Oh, thanks for 0.5% of the casino's profits into a trust controlled by the resident. Jay-Z's so generous with his 0.5%, man. Considering the project bill to remodel 1515 Broadway into a casino would come to $5.4 billion. That stake could prove to be beyond lucrative. Oh, don't tell me they rolled out Alicia Keys in New York. We want you to just come and gamble. Don't give a fuck about you. Rock Nation client who grew up in Manhattan Plaza met residents later that day to talk up the deal. Jay-Z said, Alicia Keys, you better get your ass down there. You better get down there singing and dancing. The Tenants Association withdrew from the anti-casino coalition a few days. All it took was a little Alicia Keys up in there. A little Alicia Keys. That is insane. Oh, I can't believe it. That's all it took. A little Empire State of Mind, man. Jesus Christ, it's sad, bro. Residents' reactions were mixed, however. More than a few worried that the grant had hidden strings attached. There were disagreements about whether to accept the casino funds, so the $22 million was withdrawn, redirected to a more broad-based community fund. All the while, bold-faced names continued to join the casino cause. Jay-Z drafted in his strongest soldiers, Satan's strongest soldiers. The Wire's Wendell Pierce signed on. That's ironic. If you've ever seen The Wire, the irony, if you go and watch season 5 of The Wire, and the corrupt politicians getting money from the streets. Anyway, after a $10 million pledge to support traditionally black theaters. That ain't nothing. That ain't nothing. Sharpton, who has long supported casino projects, got on board with this particular one early this summer. Months later, the casino team made a $15 million pledge to build a civil rights. They'll do anything. We'll do anything. We'll build a civil rights museum. We've got at least just let us get the money and just come and gamble. Just come and join. It's demonic. These are demons. These are demons straight out of hell trying to get you hooked on gambling. All right? Bro, this is like the Monty Burns Casino in The Simpsons. Charlamagne the God popped by a CAC hearing and expressed his support. So did Fat Joe, who introduced himself with his given name and his Bronx zip code, Joseph Cartagena 10456. All right, you guys are so fake humble. You guys are just fake humble. All right. What's this, Charlamagne? Oh my God. Kamala Harris agrees with Charlamagne that Trump's vision for America is fascism. But if you can get your casino in there, if I can become if I can make Jay-Z Donald Trump, it doesn't matter. Other casino bidders, so other casino bidders have some measure of star power. Nas made his own trip to Albany on behalf of Resorts World, which is trying to expand its slot parlor into a full-service gambling hall, but nothing like this. They weren't the only backers. Several of the city's most powerful unions supported his and pretty much every other casino project because of the jobs they'll provide. They helped convince mayoral frontrunner Zoran Mamdani to table his previous opposition to casinos. They got Mamdani in their pocket too. Don't piss me off. But there has been consistent, ingrained community opposition to pretty much all of the Manhattan projects. Pay attention, people. Everybody in the community hates this. Everybody in the community despises this. Only the billionaires, the politicians, the people that get bought and sold for 20 racks a month, people like Charlamagne the God, Fat Joe out here cosplaying as a working class man like he's not a billionaire with fucking $500,000 watches and shit. Let's just, hang on. I'm just going to air out Fat Joe real quick, all right? So he came down there for the free buffet. Let's just look at Fat Joe's watch collection, all right? Let's just look at a little bit of like what Fat Joe. So Fat Joe, all right, Mr. What was he calling himself? Joseph Cartagena 10456, all right? He rocking $500,000 watches out here, all right? Fat Joe, the celeb, the humble local, you know what I'm saying? He's just a local guy, he just Joey from the block. All right? He just Joey from the block. $3 million in watches between them. All this, just let him have his casino. He said his zip code. Just let it run. He should have said that. He should have said he should have said Joseph Cartagena or whatever it was. Rainbow Daytona reference number 4506, 450 racks, all right? And I ain't gonna lie, I got a nice watch too. But at the same time, all right, I'm not out here trying to build casinos. I'm just out here working hard. That is absolute hilarity, bro. Joseph Cartagena, Cartagena, I don't even know, it don't even matter. Saks Fifth Avenue dropped its long shot bid to convert the top 2 floors of its Fifth Avenue flagship store into a casino. Even Saks Fifth trying to turn their shit into a casino, bro. You guys are demons. You're actually demons from hell. You're actually demons from hell preying on the community. It's disgusting. You should all be run out of town. In May, Wynn Resorts withdrew its $12 billion proposal for the Hudson Yards development just a few blocks from Times Square. The neighborhood has additional concerns, despite it being New York's closest analog to Vegas. The first is its peep show history. Despite Bratton's guarantee that a 5-star resort like this will not bring back Times Square's sleaze, residents who attend these community meetings say they're scared. Then there's traffic, which is already a nightmare. Most important are the fears that it could screw up Broadway's theater scene, which is enjoying a post-COVID boom. But that community worries they're never that many flops away from a bust. They don't want the added risk. All of our theaters are here. LaChanze, the Tony Award-winning actress and producer, told me over coffee at Sardi's last year, a casino can go somewhere else, but we can't go anywhere else. Says she's a part of the Broadway League's opposition, which used Times Square itself to troll the Times Square gambling project. When Sharpton spoke at the pro-casino rally by the Red Steps last June, the league placed anti-casino messages on the giant billboards surrounding the site. That's hilarious. Wait a minute. That's brilliant. That's actually brilliant. They put no to Times Square Casino all up on Times Square. All right. They absolutely trolled them. These guys saying, we support Caesar's Palace, and they slapped up a bunch of ads saying, hell no, get out here, Jay-Z. We don't need any of this nonsense in town. When the Community Advisory Committee had its last meeting at the Broadhurst on 44th Street, the league replaced the marquees of the theaters next door with red signs reading no crime, no chaos, no casino. Brilliant. Okay. It said inside the Broadhurst, far more people testified against the casino than for it. Holiday lashed out at the self-interested Broadway League that's been running an underhanded smear campaign against the casino. You running an underhanded smear campaign against the community. and lambasted an unnamed wealthy multi-generational theatre owner for protecting its own interest at the expense of the community. Outside, black-clad protesters that held up signs reading "Broadway cares for the Schuberts." The Schubert organization plays a heavy role in the league and runs 18 of Broadway's at 41 stages. This is apparently a dig at Broadway Cares and Equity Fights AIDS, the industry's most important philanthropy. A spokesperson for the casino team said they weren't involved. Going after an AIDS charity isn't the kind of move that you want to make if you're trying to do something big on Broadway. These guys really wanted to shut down the AIDS charity, bro. Allegedly. That's crazy. They really was like, we can't really, this is going to be a bad look. So Al Sharpton, for his part, brought things back to Hove. He stressed at the Broadhurst that Rock Nation would give the casino diversity and ownership level. You're not just given a token. Jay-Z is nobody's token. He's the token booth. Shameless. It's a great turn of phrase, especially for New Yorkers of a certain age who remember when it took a coin to get on the subway. It didn't get the project out of the station, though. Casinos need a uniquely strong degree of community buy-in. Eric Botcher considered the swing vote on the project, said in a statement, despite extensive outreach by the applicants, that level of support has not materialized. That appeal to Jay-Z as an aspirational avatar and genius businessman wasn't enough. Not in a place that's inseparable from Broadway and the theater. Around New York, around the world, Jay-Z's an icon. But in this neighborhood, he's just another businessman. I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman. You were. And they said, we don't fuck with you. We don't rock with you. You're just another business. Get the hell out of here, all right? I respect it, all right? Jay-Z is not entitled to anything. He is not entitled to anything. He's already a billionaire. You're not entitled to a casino. How dare you think? I'm not even from... How dare you think that you're entitled to take over and turn the world's most famous tourist interchange into a back alley slot like a back alley slot machine for your own benefit to destroy the community? How disgraceful. It's disgusting. And Charlamagne should be ashamed of himself for shilling this nonsense. That's the end of this story, all right? What a disgrace. Everybody involved in this should be ashamed of themselves. I'll leave it there. See you in the next video. Peace out.